I graduated, and now I have a special guest with me. His name is Royce Eddings, right? Is that how you pronounce your last name?
Yeah, Eddings, correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I didn't butcher it.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, so I'm here with Royce Eddings. He's a good friend of mine, and he's a music lover. He knows a lot of stuff, a very knowledgeable person. He has a YouTube channel called Royce in the House, and he does unboxings of amazing vinyl, and you get to learn so much history. And for me, it's like Christmas, so it's when I meet people who know about music, talk about music, enjoy the same kind of music genre. It's important. And so, without further ado, Royce, welcome. And
thank you.
Happy
to be here.
Oh, well.
I'm a vinyl lover, and I'm sure there are plenty of vinyl lovers watching.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure they're all everywhere. They're all everywhere. You just gotta find them and give
yeah. Them a show. Well, vinyl is the media. I just love the vinyl. I mean, I can remember I started with 8 tracks. There were still 4 tracks in circulation, but I started with 8-track tapes. And it's kind of funny because it was only about 3 years ago I found my old artificial alligator skin 8-track case, black. And I was kind of excited when I found it, like, oh my God. And I had one of these kind of old all-in-ones in my garage. You can put an 8-track in, you can put a cassette in, you can put a record on top. And so I threw in the two or three of my 8 tracks in a row, and every one of them would just yank the tape right out. They're so old and been sitting for so long. So I just threw the whole case away. But I had a lot of just great old stuff in there that I listened to for years. I mean, Jimi Hendrix, Creedence Clearwater, Led Zeppelin, I mean, Elton John. I mean, the list just went on and on and on. The same stuff I'm still listening to today, to be honest with you. Although I've added some things as well. We didn't have things like grunge back then, but we also didn't have glam rock either. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was just, we've added a lot of different music as we've gone. Is this coming in clear at all for you?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Somebody's being incredibly loud, so I'm just kind of I'm hearing you just fine.
Oh, you hear me fine. Okay. That's what I needed to know.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay.
It's that. I thought I would be alone, but he only had the 8-hour shift, so I'm like, keep going.
That's funny.
I know. I'm like, okay, 3 more hours maybe. But
well, I thought last week's show was fun because it was the first live one I've done. Normally I make the video, I upload it, it has to process. I might have to merge a couple. I found out that if I'm making a video on my phone, it'll only run for so long and it stops and starts another one. And it's pretty seamless. I mean, I've got a merging program. I merge them together. You don't even know where it stopped and started. But when you having to start editing things, then you'll see a flicker. It's hard to make it real smooth then. But anyway, so it's a fair amount of work. I kind of like the live better. The only thing I'm finding with the live is we had quite a few views and quite a few likes during the show. I think the show went on for like an hour and 20 minutes. And I was telling stories and probably got a little carried away again. But the thing about it is once we switched from live to, just storing it with my other unboxings on my vinyl album unboxing channel, playlist, I should say. Once we switched to there, all of those likes and all of those views disappeared and I lost them all. And so then I had to do some editing to edit a little bit of a stuff out in the beginning because I was going back and forth between 2 computers when the chat was on and the video wasn't up. When it finally came on, I was not ready for it. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to edit that little bit out in the beginning. And after I did that, because it hadn't finished, it was something that was new to me because it was live. It hadn't finished processing. So every time I edited it substituted that new video for the video that I'd made live. And so I had to get rid of all of those to finish processing my original video. I probably got rid of about 30 views on that too. So whatever my view count looks like right now, it should be like right around 200, you know. In fact, when I went to bed last night, my view count was 165. I woke up this morning to 125. And
That's
I don't know where the other 40 disappeared to though, the other 40 views. Anyway, that's not what we're really here to talk about.
for audience, the live stream of boxing is just fun. I mean, last Saturday
Yeah.
it was Aerosmith. I'm like, holy cow, that's
Yeah.
my jam right there. I mean, I grew
Yeah,
up
yeah,
listening to Aerosmith thanks to my mother. My older brother and I grew up listening to it, so I feel like I've known Aerosmith. Oh geez, my mom introduced me to Aerosmith when I was like 7, and
oh,
so
did
the
she
whole time I
really?
grew up listening to him. So it feels like I've known him forever.
Right.
You know, it's like, and so just being able to talk to you guys and a whole bunch of the other peeps that we know.
Yeah, you know,
about,
that was
it's something special.
Yeah, no, that was really fun unboxing. In fact, there's some things I was going to say that I didn't, you know. I told the story that the manager locked them all in a house and said, write songs. And 6 years earlier, Steven Tyler had started Dream On. He hadn't finished it yet. And living in this house that, you know, was kind of new to all of them, Steve Tyler found a suitcase. Suitcase was full of money. He didn't tell any of the band members about it. He went out and bought a keyboard, and that keyboard was what motivated him to finish that song after 6 years. And it became a big hit, but they re-released it when they released Toys in the Attic 2 years later. And it became even a bigger hit, you know. But the part I forgot to say was when the drug dealers that hid that suitcase of money came back and knocked on the door and wanted to know where their suitcase of money was, you know, Steve Tyler was the only one that knew about it. Everybody else is like, what the hell is he talking about? And so Steve Tyler, you know, played it off too. Like, what are you talking about? Money? What are you talking about? So it was a suitcase full of drug dealer money.
Oh my, okay. I knew about the keyboard. I knew about the money, but I didn't really know about the drug dealer. The drug dealers knocked the door, like, oh man, oh.
Exactly.
Into a pickle. Man, that's wild.
I know, isn't that a crazy story?
It's crazy, but it really built them up to where they are today. And it's just really iconic to see a band, you know, for that long, you know. Oh, geez, right. I was in high school when they made their debut, and my dad's like, too loud, because my dad was more like the Beach Boys, Kingston Trio, and so forth.
Right.
And nothing wrong with that. I love both of those too. And right. You know, and they're classics too. I grew up listening to them. And so it's just like, just hearing these stories about probably one of the most iconic bands of all time. And,
exactly.
And by the way, Rolling Stones were #1, Aerosmith's '2 in many respects.
Oh, okay.
I think it's a big debate, but I really think that, you know, in great respect, I really think the Rolling Stones should be #1 with respect because they're the oldest living.
Exactly.
I mean, with great
look how long they've been. Look how long they've been together. I think Satisfaction came out when I was in 7th grade. You know.
Oh man, I remember. Man, what was it? Back when I was like a child, my mom played Under My Thumb a lot. No, Under My.
Oh yeah, those were good songs. Under My Thumb, Painted Black, Jumpin' Jack Flash. All those whole songs are great.
I'm a huge fan of the Rolling Stones. I'm a huge fan of their early work.
Yeah,
so a lot of that kind of like country blues, just about, and I really like that style of them as well. I mean, yes, I love the rock and roll style. Don't get me wrong, but their earlier stuff is just superb.
It is excellent.
It's like Wild Horses. When I first heard Wild Horses, man, I was just blown away. I was almost crying.
That's probably my family's song. Everybody here loves Wild Horses, you know.
It's emotional, but it's relatable, but you know, I'm just hearing Mick Jagger sing it. It's just like you can feel that emotional.
Yeah, no, it is. That's such a great song.
I mean, have you ever heard the song "Emotional Rescue"?
Oh, absolutely, sure.
I think Mick Jagger's voice is just ridiculous on that song. You know, it's just the way he goes, you know, I'm like,
yeah, right.
He's so high. I'm just really impressed with him.
Right. Yeah, he's really good. I've seen him in concert twice.
I'm jealous.
And in last May, we had tickets to see him in San Diego, and then the COVID thing postponed the concert. And then at that point, they kept telling me, It's not a cancellation, it's postponement. You don't get your money back. It's just been postponed. And time kept going on and on and on. And then they finally said, oh, there was a brief window there. You could have got a refund, but now pick some other shows. And I just about lost it. And I turned my wife loose on them. They transferred the money into our bank account the following day. Tickets, because we'd bought decent seats, decent seats. We don't live that far from San Diego. It's probably a 5-hour drive, but we were going to fly down. We had a hotel room booked, spend a couple of nights down there. And I was really looking forward to it. It was like every 25 years we'd see him. I saw him, at the Long Beach Arena, like 72. And then actually my daughter, Amber, you've probably heard of her. She gave us tickets for Christmas one year to go see them in Portland, Oregon. That was the only catch. We had to go to Portland, Oregon, which is quite a ways away. And they weren't great seats. We're kind of behind the stage a little bit, but it was still fun. We still enjoyed it. So I was looking forward to the third time because it could be the third and final time with this lineup, as old as everybody's getting.
Yeah, man, the very last time they went to Denver, I think it was like, oh geez, maybe a year and a half, not a year and a half, maybe like 2 years ago. And my parents for Christmas tried so hard to get tickets, they just couldn't do it.
Wow.
I was like,
yeah.
I just really wanted to see Mick Jagger. I don't care if I'm behind the stage. I don't care if I'm right. Yeah. I don't care. Just get me there to the jumbo screen. I can watch Mick Jagger do what Mick Jagger does.
Right.
It's just like, see him it's like he's like the Energizer Bunny. He keeps going on stage.
Oh yeah, no, he's got so much energy. It's crazy.
Stage presence that I like. That's what I like about him. He has like stage presence, kind of like in Steven Tyler. It's like
right.
If you compare the two iconic lead singers, you understand how I put it. Mick Jagger has all that energy. He's ready to go. He's like a football guy going, wow, and
right.
Tyler, he's one of the cool people, and he has that swagger.
Right. Oh yeah, totally.
Swagger when he hits the stage, and I saw
nobody really looks quite like him on stage.
No, I loved it, and that's why.
I do too.
He marched to the beat to his own drum. He just goes out there and he just swags and he just does what Steven Tyler does. Oh, puppy.
I know she doesn't have her unicorn costume on.
Oh, I bet she's happy about that.
Yeah, she's happy about that.
I know. No, I tried to.
The vinyl unicorn right here.
Yeah, well, that's okay. She's a cutie. My dog Smokey, she's asleep right now. She I used to have this Halloween shirt that says for dogs that says candy security. Secure the suspect. And my family took pity on her and hid the shirt from me. But I found it, but I promised the dog I would never put it on her ever again. But she was candy security, but she loves the kids. She'll go up to the kids and everything. It's cute. She still does that. But anyway, back to Steven Tyler, of course, Mick Jagger, again, it's just watching their stage presence. I mean, even though I haven't seen the Rolling Stones in person, I've seen enough historical life footage or shows on the internet or on TV late at night to know, man, he could just go out there. He just wants it. He's having fun.
Oh yeah, no, there's some crazy frontmen. I mean, over the years. I mean, have you ever seen Jethro Tull?
No, I wish I did.
Yeah, right. Well, so the frontman plays a flute, right?
Yeah.
And like 6'5" or something, like really, really tall, real long hair, big beard, up in front playing a flute. I mean, how crazy! I saw him in concert at the Ice Palace in Las Vegas. It was an ice skating rink, and they have concerts in there and stuff. And it was crazy, watching that. I've got, I think, 3 of his albums, and I don't have Aqualung. Aqualung was the biggest album of all. I listened to that a lot when I was a teenager. But anyway, so that's kind of wild to see a guy that looks like he looks like a caveman, up there playing, a little flute, and doing it damn well too, that's pretty wild to see. And did you ever see Buddy Miles, the drummer?
I have never heard of
drums for a while with
drummer?
Hendrix. Pardon me?
What instrument?
Yeah, he played drums for Jimi Hendrix for a while.
Okay.
And
No, I'm not familiar with him.
pardon, oh, you know, oh, okay, okay. I saw him in concert at Las Vegas Convention Center. It's the first time I've ever seen the drum set front the band. You know, it was his band. He was the singer. He wrote all the songs and he played the drums, and all the guitar players, everybody were behind him. You know, and he was a big, stocky guy, tank top, you know, big arms and a great big afro up front. You know, and he had a album out called "Them Changes," and "Them Changes" was like the hit song that was on it. And it was he had a pretty good following for a while. I had the album "Them Changes" by Buddy Miles. Yeah, but that was interesting. That's the only time I'd ever seen a drum set in front. You know.
That's cool. I like man, what was it? Cheyenne, Wyoming, 2016 Frontier Days. Kiss.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to talk about Kiss here. Speaking of drum sets, we had to go a little bit backstage to get to where we were going because I actually scored front row tickets, like nosebleed sections. We always do. And we walked by Eric Singer's drum kit. It was like on the separate.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, I saw his drum kit. Yeah, I immediately just stopped down like, like it's so beautiful. It's like I mean, I seen it. I seen him talk about. I seen
right.
whatever brand. I can't remember which brand because I know I'm gonna butcher, so I'm not gonna speak of it. But the brand, talk about the brand and stuff, and just being able to see that drum kit in person, I'm like, I mean, I'm not allowed to go near it, but we were just walking, but my eyes never left that drum set. I'm like, he has a really pretty beautiful drum set. I'm like, it's like white.
Well, I saw a couple of his snare drums that he donated for auction.
Oh yeah.
And I wonder, is that what the drum set looks like? Because they were real pretty drums.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And also he had, I don't know if he still does this. No, I think he had that. I saw him at 2019, a year before COVID hit. I saw him at the final tour in Denver.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I went and get doctor's orders, no regrets. And yeah, he still had the license inside his drum kit. So it's like the colors would change and everything. It was really cool to see.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
You know, Betty and I got to go see Elton John, the nice. million dollar piano at the Forum, Caesar's Palace, and it's not a very big venue. And that $1 million piano, there was first of all, behind him was a massive screen, and let's just say, for example, he was playing Rocket Man. We had this big celestial, universal scene, moving scene while he's playing Rocket Man. But that side band that wraps around the piano, that's maybe, I don't know, 12 inches tall, the same scene was going through the piano. So it had all this electronics, and that's why they call it the $1 million piano. And no matter what he was playing, there was a different scene on the big screen, but that same scene was going to the piano.
Oh, that's
awesome. It was pretty. No, it was really awesome.
And that's the museum, right?
The Forum.
The Forum.
It's Caesar's.
Yeah. Or I thought Elton John had like a museum in
Vegas. No, it's just a theater. It's just a theater in Caesar's Palace. Yeah, they hold concerts and stuff.
Cool. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Oh yeah, no, it's really nice. Like I said, there are no bad seats in there. Small venue. That's nice. And it was a great show.
Oh, I can imagine. He's definitely a gifted musician. Has touched a lot of lives, a lot of hearts. Oh yeah. Say with his music, and he's really iconic. My mom. I blame my mother again on this one. She played a lot of Elton John as well, so I'm familiar with his work. My one of my younger sisters, Bree, actually my youngest sister Faith too. They love the song Rocket Man. They just just adore that song. It's just welcoming, it's like my mom business in his house. Next you hear like the piano start playing the Rocket Man sound. I'm like, okay,
right, yeah,
kick it up to 10.
One of my vinyl shows was Elton John. I unboxed either 4 or 5 Elton John albums, and I think almost all of them were gatefolds. They were really cool. I mean, some of them had booklets in them, posters in them. They had all kinds of stuff. There was a lot there. It wasn't just an album, and that kind of made it more fun. So we went through all of that, and that was fun. Yeah. We've been through. Tomorrow the Doors will be show number 14. And I love the Doors. I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be a great show. I mean, I've got I think I've got 3 albums to unbox, and some of them are, original original pressings that I've accumulated. And then there's some newer stuff. It's going to be fun because I love all the music.
Well, The Doors is an instant hit. But
Oh
now,
my
I could
God.
probably say both my parents love The Doors. So I could probably say both.
Oh, the Doors are great. They were like a big part of my youth.
There's no question. There isn't a question, from LA Woman to, Come On Baby, Light My Fire, to my personal favorite, Touch Me. I love how Martin just croons out the lyrics of my song. It's just ridiculously good, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, and I like songs like let's see, People Are Strange.
Strange. Yeah.
Yeah. People are strange when you're a stranger. Women look wicked when you're alone. When you're strange. I mean, that's just a great song. That's on one of the albums I have.
That's a great song.
And love me two times, baby, love me twice today. I love that song.
Did you know that Aerosmith did a cover of that song?
You know what? I saw that when I was reading the songs. Yeah, I saw that.
It's a good cover.
It
kind of made it more. I guess we would say a little bit more bluesy in some ways, which makes sense. By a lot of means, it makes a lot of sense to make it sound more bluesy in many ways.
Right.
But no, Aerosmith did a great job with that. I think I got the millennial CDs, like how they have like those CDs of millennial music, like millennial, and it has like Bon Jovi or whatever.
Right.
Aerosmith said "Love Me Two Times," like, oh, okay, did not know that. Let's play it. But that's a good. I also like the song "Riders of the Storm."
Oh, I love that song.
Right.
You know what? That song really brings back some memories for me because a good friend of mine that I grew up with, I used to walk up to his house and pick him up on the way to high school and junior high. And we were listening to that all the way to Mexico in this little Volkswagen. We were like, just turned 18 years old. We decided to take a trip to Mexico. And we listened to Riders in the Storm all the way down there. I'm not going to tell you what else we were doing, but it was a fun trip. But that was a great song.
Oh, it's
on the
classic.
Storm.
At the time, before there were 7 of us, it was just my eldest brother and myself and my parents at the time living in Torrance, California. And which, by the way, San Diego is my hometown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's my hometown. It's just too expensive to go back right now. But when we travel back and forth, during the holidays, like my brother and my dad would go in one car, and then I'll go in the car with my mother. We had 7 cars. It worked fine. Time, and Riders of the Storm would play. My mom had a cassette tape, and Riders of the Storm would always play when we were literally like out in the middle of nowhere.
That song, it's just got this I can't describe it, the actual music in the background, but it's really, really cool.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. It's my mom kind of pointed out, it's like they wrote great music when they were high on stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I agree. It's genius stuff. I wish they didn't do that, but it's genius.
Great to listen to when you were high too.
Oh, I haven't gone that far, but I'll take your word for it.
Okay. Well, Monroe told me that.
Monroe, what are you doing, crazy girl? What are you doing?
Yeah, she's a crazy girl.
You are a crazy girl. I can tell. Small dogs are crazy. Yes.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
they really are.
I used to work at a vet, and we used to, I was a kennel technician, so I took care of the barn animals and hospital animals. And time animal control will bring in like small chihuahuas.
Okay.
And some of them were really nice, and some were really nice, and some of them were, you just have to work around them. I didn't hate them by any means. I just got to for me, I just had to understand their issue. So, but in reality, for me, the way I see it, as long as you understand that how to work around the animal that's scared or timid or whatever, that's actually could be a good thing, because that animal knows like, whoa, that person's not gonna hurt me. That person's giving me food, giving me water, took me outside. I like this person. Now let me bite your hand, but I like you.
Well, we rescued these dogs, the 2 Yorkies, brother and sister.
That's
And
great.
Monroe had been thrown up against the wall, you know. Um, Somebody was unhappy with what they stepped in, so they just bounced her off the wall. And
Oh, Monroe, you don't
so
deserve that.
she's had trust issues since we brought her home, which it's taken a long time for her to get better.
Well, I can tell she's accustomed to you because she's just happy that you're holding her.
Yeah,
Just like
yeah,
you're the dad. You're a comforting dad. You're just like, shh.
yeah.
Throw, I don't understand people throwing dogs, hurting animals. I don't get it.
No, I
I,
don't either. I
I know.
love animals.
Oh, animals, animals are also my jam. I have a dog that thinks that she's independent, but at the same time, she's loyal and loving, and she knows I won't be mad at her forever.
Right.
It's
You know,
just
I had a cage full of chickens. The last one died 6 months ago, but they were almost just like dogs. I mean, when I walked outside, I let them out to run around the yard. We live on a couple acres. When I walked outside, they would all come running to me, and they would stand in line waiting to be picked up and held. You know,
oh,
and every time I put one down, the others would step forward like it's my turn. You know,
yeah.
and some of them they never wanted to be put down. It's crazy.
I really do think all animals do have the feeling of wanting to be loved and all that. I just wish
I've seen that firsthand. I believe that for sure.
I have, and I'll tell you, late at night I watch YouTube videos if I can't sleep, and I watch the Dodo where they upload like animal stories daily
Okay.
at 2 a.m. Either I'm laughing or I'm crying. It's one of the two. I'm like, oh, it's so cute, and it kind of influenced me because, I just, as graduated, and now I'm a multimedia journalist, and I'm kind of into a profession where I'm not getting paid that much. I probably won't be getting paid that much. So I'm okay with that. I signed up for it. I knew what I was getting myself into.
Right.
But
Well, you never know where it can lead.
exactly, it's like I'm not gonna let that stop me. Forget it. No,
Right.
it's kind of like I'm also at the point where things get better for me. I like to maybe foster animals on the side as well.
Yeah.
Just to help, not just income wise, but just give them a second chance. Like aggressive dogs will give that aggressive dog a chance to
Right. Right.
realize, to show people, okay, he's not aggressive. He's
Right.
a very decent dog.
Exactly.
It's like
Yeah, that would be.
I've handled a lot of aggressive dogs when I was a kennel technician, and they say don't talk to them. So like I talk, don't do anything. They hate us. They hate us. They hate the nurses. They hate the doctors. They love their owners. But I think
Okay.
they realized that I'm not the bad people. I take care of them, and they
Right.
actually adored me. They kind of like, oh,
Oh,
okay,
good.
nice. She's nice. She talks to us. She doesn't listen to. She actually talks to us, communicates with us. She's not scared. She doesn't listen
Right.
to. Oh, nice. Well, they're under my care, so it's like if any animal's under my care, it's like they're gonna have an interaction, whether the owner's like there or not. It's like I'm gonna talk to them.
Right. Right. Right.
That's what family does. They're like my family.
Exactly.
And I think that's what I think the aggressive dogs really understood too. It's like, well, she's like my family. She treats me. She loves me. She spoils me. I like this.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly. Well,
yeah.
a friend of mine who was a real dog lover used to live next door. He said, "There's no such thing as a bad dog. There's only bad dog owners." And I've actually seen a lot of examples of that, you know. And I don't know if you could say there's no such thing as a bad dog, but usually when there's something wrong like that, there's definitely things in their past, you know, where they've been abused or kept chained up or whatever.
No, it's. I mean, they're here to be our friends, be our companions, be our family, or in my case, be our children. And so,
Yeah.
don't ruin that right. It's just, man, I cannot.
Well,
But the hardest part is being like take care of animals is that when it's time for them to go, that's the hardest part.
that is the hard part. Yeah.
When they get sick or when they have to go, like
Right.
over the Rainbow Bridge, it's just like.
Yeah, no, that's really hard. I mean, we've dealt with that many times. We had two golden retrievers, one right after the other. And the second one, I put in my truck when it was 8 weeks old. A friend of mine It was he had a litter of them. They kept trying to get me to buy one, and I kept saying no. So finally, he brought one over to my job site. Her name was Cheyenne, and she was the sweetest little golden retriever. And I put her in my truck, and she basically was in that truck with me 6 or 7 days a week. She went everywhere I went.
That's great.
Yeah, and she loved it too. In fact, we'd always find I was building like apartment buildings all over the county, and wherever I was working, there was always a body of water somewhere. Like when I was working in Cambria, we drive down to Moonstone Beach, stand up on the cliff and throw these bumpers in the water. She'd climb down the cliff and retrieve them for me. And she never came back without one. If I threw one this way, she went and got it. While she couldn't see me, I'd throw one this way. She'd come back and bring it to me, hand it to me, and sit down, and I'd point that way now. And she wouldn't come back without it. And I mean, she was a smart, devoted dog. We had a lot of fun together.
Yeah, my very first Smokey's actually the second dog I've had. The first one, Sugar Bear, she came to me as a former sheepdog, and I just needed. I was in a period in my life where I just needed a companion.
Sure.
Someone to be with me, just to hang out, whatever. And
yeah.
And she showed up. She rocked my world. And long story short, I actually had to put her down on Christmas Eve because she was actually throwing up blood.
Oh no.
It was bad. She was in a bad state. She was having seizures. My siblings keep telling me this. Like, well, I don't know. I don't know what you guys are talking about because I've never seen this. And next thing you know, my sisters goes running up to me, why, Sugar Bear, look. And I see her. And I'm like that. And she goes like, I told you. I'm like, yes, thank you for telling me. I'm sorry I didn't listen. And, and that was that. So then,
yeah, no, that's sad. Well, it's like I was talking about Cheyenne, my golden retriever, and she had a brain tumor, and she'd gotten really bad. She'd just turn in circles, or she'd just wander off and wind up at a neighbor's house or something, and not even know where she was. Or she got to the point where she didn't hardly know anything anymore. And the doctor said, well, there's probably nothing they're going to be. I mean, you could send her up to Stanford, put her on an airplane, send her to Stanford, and you could just see if they could do some sort of, brain operation or something. Or he recommended just, putting her to sleep because we probably weren't going to be able to make her any better. And so that's what we did. But it was hard. It's hard.
It's hard because, I'm trying to find that animals are, things on earth that do not judge you for what you look like, or in my case, how bad I look like in the morning. They're just happy to see you.
No, when it comes to dogs, we are their entire life, and that we're all that matters to them. No, like this one, this one senses when we're getting ready to go someplace, and she'll slip out and won't come in. The other dogs, we can get them to come in. Hey, we got to give them a treat or something, but she'll hang out by the cars. And so more often than not, she ends up just getting taken because she's a pretty easy travel companion. She doesn't complain if we've got to leave her in the vehicle for a while. No complaints. She's just happy to be with us. So she gets to do quite a bit, don't you, Monroe? You get to go quite a bit.
That's cute. She goes, yes, Dad. I know. Tell me I'm pretty, Dad. Yeah. That's what they are. It's like, man, if I could explain Smokey. Okay. So when I had to get in-house physical therapy because I was in bad shape after my left knee replacement because I had 0 quad strength.
Oh, wow.
So I needed some extra help. And so the physical and occupational therapist will come in every other day just to see how I'm doing and get me going here.
Right.
And Smokey was just on guard. She had to look like, hello, I know your intentions, but it involves my favorite person. I don't think so.
Right.
Ow, you're mine. But she was right there through the whole thing. But there was this time where I was trying to get off the sofa and I said, I can't do this. I can't go on. She goes in. The therapist's like, oh, yes, you can. Oh, I can. The next thing you know, my dog's, Smokey just
oh, man.
It just sits right in front of me, kind of like she says she's done.
That's crazy.
It's like they watch out, It's just
yeah.
it's like, it's just funny. It's like I've seen her like him, and there are times where I haven't seen her like that still, regardless of how many years I've had her. So it's just fun to watch. So she doesn't hurt anybody, but she's watching like, I know you're nice, but I'm watching you. It's like you heard
So
her.
Kate, I wanted to ask you, what are you calling your show?
Oh boy, yeah, what is the name of the show? I'm thinking about maybe calling it like Caitlin's Corner.
Oh, I like that.
Caitlin's Corner. I'm like, nothing special, nothing fancy schmancy, just Caitlin's Corner for now, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess
I like it.
My
I
friend
like it.
to create a logo, but he's on vacation right now. So
Well, that's what I need. I need like some an intro and an outro. My grand.
Do you use Adobe Premiere Pro?
No.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say if you have that, you can have free music for your intro and outro. But there's also a site called Storyblocks. But I got free access because I was a student at the time. But yeah, it has like free music you could use for shows or free. It's safe from copyright. Everything's safe. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I found a site like that with thousands and thousands of songs, and well, you had to pay a little bit every month. They would give you like a trial,
Well,
and then after that you pay. So they're getting money for their copyrighted
right.
songs.
Well, a classmate of mine from a final semester in TV production, I have it right here. I have a bookmark. I'll look it up for you. It's free. It's actually pretty cool. It's called Free Music Archive.
Oh, okay.
And she just I didn't even think about this. So Free Music Archive, and what you can do is just you can look it up and
Yeah.
the music you can use to put into your shows and stuff. And she said
Right.
my professor said it was safe.
Okay. Yeah, because I just need some little. I don't know if you've ever watched Days with Jordan the Lion's intro.
Yeah.
It's nothing really special. It's just a bar, a certain color comes across the screen, and maybe there's a train in it.
Well,
and one comes from the other direction. Maybe there's something else.
Well, that's where like
Free Music Archive, right?
Like a logo. Are you thinking like obviously music, because I need to add mine. That's what I'm gonna edit when we're done. But like a logo, like you like motion stuff.
Well, what I'd love for my show, and I'm not even telling people what the name of it is, but what I would love is for a painted up Volkswagen hippie van to be driving along, and there's like big mushrooms and stuff, and Jefferson Airplane is playing, Go Ask Alice, right?
Yeah.
And because the podcast has a lot to do with that time period, and then maybe at the end as an outro, you've got Jimi Hendrix on stage, caricature, cartoon, playing the Star Spangled Banner or something, and both of these will only last 10 seconds, would seem like a long time, to be honest with you.
Well, if
just a little something to kick it off and to end it with.
Oh, sure. You know what I can do is maybe when my friend Jordan comes back from his vacation from Reno, if he ever does come back. Like, I don't blame him for not wanting to come back, but right. But when he actually does come back, I'd be more happy to ask him if he knows about like your vision. Tell him about your vision, see what he thinks, and maybe
yeah. Like I said, 10 seconds would even seem like a long time. Even 10 seconds would seem, doesn't even have to be that long. Just something to kick it off,
Okay, well, then also I know there are pretty good applications that I can use too, and I think Jordan knows how to use it as well. So I'll be more than happy to pass the idea along to him with your permission, and I'll.
Yeah, sure.
He's one of my best friends. We graduated together, and he's an awesome friend. So
so I picture this hippie van. It's got colorful stuff on it, peace signs. Everybody in there's got long hair, headbands, little granny glasses, and they're all just driving down the road, And,
okay.
Like I said.
Well, I can definitely when I pester him, I don't know. this weekend.
Chester.
Yeah, I'll be pestering him, see if he brought back some money that I asked him to bring back. But I asked him,
So did you have him make a
me?
bet? Did you have him make a bet for you or something?
Something like that. I told him, you better hit the slots for me because I can't go to Vegas till next year. That's true. I'm trying. Hopefully, I feel better enough to go. So,
right.
I have a full list of things to do.
Vegas is so familiar to me. It's like growing up in Henderson, Nevada.
There, right?
Yeah, and my friends and I, we get on the bus when we were like 12 years old. Take the bus to Vegas. Our parents didn't know about this, and we go into hotels and just take the elevators up and down, run through the hallways and the hotel rooms and stuff. And almost every time we got chased out by security, and they would chase us into the stairwells. And you got pretty good jumping from the top of one stairwell down to the bottom, turning in the corner and doing it again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's awesome. It's just I enjoy like hearing you talk about that, and also Pat. It's really fun to hear him talk about Vegas as well.
Oh, just Pat the Wizard.
Yeah, the awesome.
Yeah, what's funny? What's funny is the places we used to go out in the desert and have parties. Well, one of the places, there were many, but there was a pretty famous one on Pabco Road where some guys would buy some kegs. And, you heard me mention last week that at 14 years old, we could have motorcycles. So these guys would buy some kegs and have a bonfire. And we'd take pictures, great big pictures to put our beer in, tie them on the back of our motorcycles, 14 years old, and drive out to the keg party. Fill a whole picture with beer a couple of times and then drive home, on our motorcycles in the dark. But Pat and even Slaughter, they used to go to those same cake parties I went to. Of course, after long since I'd left, but those parties continued in the same place, and I can remember my younger brother telling me they were at a cake party and there were some pretty famous musicians out. And it would have been Slaughter.
That's cool. See,
and like I said, the tradition just carried on.
I love these stories. It's just it just kind of just gives the insight of like different generations of how life was like amongst us, because we're all different generations in life, but at the same time we all have stories to tell and share, and right. I just really like learning about it. It's just that's how I learn about people. It's just hearing these stories. I just think it's awesome.
Right. Yeah, stories are cool. Yeah.
So my question for you is, you did an unboxing of like Divas.
Yes.
Yeah. Who's your favorite?
Well, I guess I have to go with Marilyn Monroe. Because I unboxed the 60th anniversary of Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend, and it was great songs on that. In fact, the last song on that was "Happy Birthday, Mr. President," which I've watched on video more than one time. Her singing that to John F. Kennedy,
Yeah.
And yeah, so and it's just great songs on there. And one of them she does with well, who was that? Jane Mansfield, kind of a rival,
Okay.
Although Jane Mansfield didn't get to do the movies and stuff, Marilyn got to do. Marilyn was very talented. She danced, she sang. Back in the day, back in her era, you could not make it in Hollywood unless you could act, dance, and sing. Mm-hmm. And so everybody could do that. And so Marilyn could do that. And I saw all the old Marilyn Monroe movies when I was a kid because my mother was a huge fan of all the old actors and actresses.
Oh, that's cool.
We watched all the musicals with all the tap dancing and stuff. Fred Astaire and Ginger Baker, and I can't remember all their names now. It's been so long. But we watched all those together, and it was fun. And as I was talking about on my Divas show, Marilyn Monroe's name when I was a kid, and we'd watch Marilyn Monroe movies together. And whenever she wanted to tell me a rumor, she would lean forward. We're the only two in the house. She'd lean forward and whisper the rumor to me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but but I really like that Marilyn. I actually unboxed 2 Marilyn Monroes. One of them was called Marilyn Monroe Incomparable. It had never been opened before. I had to open it up. It was a double album set. And then Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend was a good album. I liked, read the songs off again sometime. They were great.
No, that's
Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend. My Heart Belongs to Daddy. I mean, I can't think of all the names right now, but there were some two girls from Little Rock or something like that. And her and Jane Mansfield sang that one together, you know. But it was, no, that was fun. I mean, I started out with Madonna, Like a Virgin, you know, and I found 2 or 3 Madonnas up in my closet, some stuff I brought from my mother's house years ago. And I thought, well, I'm not going to be unboxing Madonna. And all of a sudden I thought about the Divas show. And it's like, well, why not, you know? So I unboxed her, I unboxed Cher, Gypsy Tramps and Thieves, and that was a good album.
yeah, that's
And
good.
I think a Diana Ross and somebody else. And then I did the 2 Marilyns, which were the finale. But I have to give it to Marilyn, you know, because
Yeah.
the 60th anniversary album was a picture disc.
Oh, that
And
was
it's a
beautiful.
glamorous picture of her on the front, but on the back, it was her original Playboy centerfold picture. In fact, I had to doctor it up a little bit before I could even show it, you know.
Yeah, I'm glad you did too.
I
Do a
probably
cute
wouldn't
play.
have a show right now. I'd have gotten kicked off by now. Yeah, no, Betty bought
Oh
me these
no, you
stick-on
get kicked off, I would be laughing.
Betty bought me these stick-on stars, and I stuck them on in 3 locations, and I almost couldn't get them off. It was so sticky, and it freaked me out when it came time to take them off.
Oh my
Worried
god.
I was going to mess them. Worried I was going to mess the vinyl up taking the stars off.
Oh god. You have me laughing now, Mark. Oh my goodness. Thanks, Royce. Yeah. I'll have to say for me, probably Diane Ross. Or maybe
Oh
Cher.
yeah,
I don't know. I like Diane Ross. I like what she stands for as an artist. Her music
yeah.
is phenomenal. And then, with Cher, I mean, Cher is iconic from
Oh
with
my
not
God.
just from
Yeah,
Sonny and Cher. I mean, her whole
right,
solo career. I'm like, oh geez, she did like a '90s thing. Like,
right.
do you believe in love? Something like that.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
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 so
yeah.
full
That's right.
'90s, but it was so good. And then I saw her on
Right.
Mamma Mia
Yeah, she
2,
kept kind of
and she cracks me. Yeah, she cracks me up. She did a great job on Mamma Mia 2, and she sang the song
wow.
Fernando. And
And Sonny, her ex-husband, he got killed snow skiing, didn't he?
yeah, yeah,
Kind
yeah.
of got off the trail and
He hit a tree, didn't he?
hit a tree.
Yeah,
Exactly.
he hit a tree. He hit something. And then
Right.
there have been a couple of celebrities who have lost spouses because of skiing incidents. Like Liam Neeson, he lost his wife because she crashed into a tree, and
Oh.
unfortunately,
Around the time Sonny Bono did it, somebody else that was well known did the same thing, you know.
and yeah, it was crazy. It was almost like a trend. Unfortunately, it was like a trend. It's just like
Yeah.
it's
Well,
just
it was. I remember I'd go with friends and they'd want to take off to the trees sometimes. I'd switch from skis to snowboarding because at the time I was surfing and I also had a boat with the wakeboard, you know. So I wanted to get off the 2 skis and get onto a single board. But I'll never forget me and my youngest daughter, Nicole. And I used to take my oldest daughter around all the time. She got good grades in school. So we would let her ditch school on like, say, a Wednesday or something. And we do one of these bonsai trips where we leave at 4 o'clock in the morning, get something to eat in Fresno, go up, get there right when they open, ski all day long, and then come home and go back to work and school the next day. But she was the only one that really got to enjoy that. But Nikki and I were snowboarding, my youngest daughter, and I made a wrong turn, got onto an ungroomed slope, and it was just like a solid sheet of ice. And I started down off of that before I realized what I was doing. And my snowboard immediately flipped out from underneath me, and I spun around to where I was going down the mountain head first, looking at the sky and rapidly. And all of a sudden, my daughter screams at me, and she was in the exact same position. We're both flying down the mountain head first, uh, unable to stop. You know, it was all ice. And she's, Dad, I can't stop. I'm like, well, neither can I, you know. And I could see the tree line getting closer and closer. And so finally, I lifted up my both feet and I slammed my snowboard down and just with all my strength held the edge of the snowboard into the ice until I kind of just skidded to a stop just from the friction on the edge of the board. And I called Nikki, and she did the same thing. We both were able to finally stop, but we were really close to going head first in the trees.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy.
You know, the last time I snowboard, I've been in Colorado since '93, and I never really cared for skiing. I took up snowboarding. Oh, geez, it's been forever, but I remember going up to Eldora. It's a nice resort up in the mountains, and to snowboard, and I almost ran into a side of a lodge because I couldn't, my snowboard sideways. But I was lucky. I was like about like this close to just go.
Well, you know, I'm always looking for a shortcut. When I started snowboarding, I signed up for a lesson, but the lesson wasn't going to be till like 10:30. Well, I didn't want to just sit around for 2.5 hours, so I thought, well, I'll just go up there and do a little practicing. Because I didn't sign up for lesson 1, which I should have. I signed up for like 3 or something. You know? And so I went up there, didn't know how to turn, didn't know how to stop, and I was so beat up by the time I finally got down to my lesson that I should have taken the lesson first. I didn't know how to stop, turn, anything.
Sorry, it was just like I was saying awkwardly because my laptop was charging, but it's done, so I can lean back now. I'm like, my back's like.
You know, when I used to use this laptop on a previous show, I always had my headset on with the mic. But do I sound okay without that?
No, you sound great. I can't really tell the difference, to be honest with you. Okay. No, this is awesome. It's a good test trial.
Yeah, totally.
And for the record, that was the chair, not me.
I didn't hear anything. That's funny.
Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Yeah, audience, it was the chair, not me, I promise. I know better than that. But so my question for your show too is are there other genres you could unbox in near future, you think?
Yes.
Like, I mean,
well, there is, and I will be. I mean, well, some of the genres are really close cousins. I mean, you know, you've got for example, you know, I want to unbox some grunge, and that's considered a genre, but it's not just considered grunge, it's considered rock and roll, you know, and all these other things. And most of them have 5 or 6 labels when it comes to genre. But like I've been unboxing mostly classic rock and roll, but the one show I really enjoyed, which actually has the most views, was my soul show, Soul Music. And there was a period of time, 77, 78, where me and my friends, that's all we were listening to for a while, soul music. You know, Otis Redding.
Oh, yeah.
Marvin Gaye, The Temptations, The Four Tops. Oh, God, what am I trying to think of right now? Junior Walker and the All-Stars. Funniest video I've ever seen, Junior Walker and the All-Stars, with Jimi Hendrix playing guitar and the band behind him. And it wasn't a wild do his own thing Jimi Hendrix. It was a Jimi Hendrix rocking back and forth with the other players in cadence, you know. It's just playing his role with a suit on, right? And that's a really funny video, Junior Walker and the All-Stars.
Yeah, I might have to look that one up.
It's one of my favorites, really. But so I showed all that, and there's so many. I mean, Otis Redding was so good, Dock of the Bay, and all those songs. So I love soul music. I actually really got into the blues for a while. I joined this blues society in San Luis Obispo. We actually took a cruise to the Caribbean called the Blues Cruise. And there was a blues act performing every night on the cruise. And all because I joined that society. But anyways, I got there for a while. I was just listening to blues. But that, I don't think that's too far of a break. Country and rock are different. Although as time goes on, they kind of get closer together. But I love country, you know, and I'll be unboxing country eventually. I'll be unboxing grunge eventually. I'm still short an album to really do a good job, but I'd like to get, you know, either Stone Temple Pilots, Alice in Chains, or who's the other one? I can't think of the name of the other one. Stone Temple Pilots was good. I saw I've already got some, but I need like one more.
Yeah.
I saw Velvet Revolver, Slash's band.
Yeah,
Do you remember Velvet Revolver?
I do.
And the singer from Stone Temple Pilots had joined his band, and he was singing for them when I saw him in concert, and that was a fun show.
No, I bet. That's such a great band.
Yeah,
Velvet Revolver is right up there too. Like, holy cow, that's just
yeah, they had some big hits when they were,
oh, absolutely.
I mean, I love the way I love the tone Slash gets on his Les Paul. He's just a great guitar player.
There are a couple of the grunge bands that really have very talented guitar players. I'm like, just
Oh yeah,
holy cow! It's just like absolutely mind blowing. Some are like Jimi Hendrix, but in the now, But
yeah,
but
yeah.
at the same time, you can't beat Jimi Hendrix no matter how hard you try. In my opinion, Jimi Hendrix set the bar. I don't think that bar will ever be broken. Personally,
Well, he's number one for me. I did Jimi Hendrix. I unboxed my original Are You Experience that I've had since
oh,
the late
that's a great
'60s,
record.
and then I unboxed Rainbow Bridge. But the one I really had fun with was something that had just come out that I just got my hands on, and it was a 3-album set called Live in Maui, and it had this big thick booklet in it full of pictures. Came with a Blu-ray DVD with both concerts, both Maui concerts. I watch them on TV, and all his great songs on 3 albums. And it was in a big thick cardboard box. And the sleeves were very very heavy. Like I said, a big booklet was in there. And he was already a superstar when he went over to Maui and did 2 concerts in front of like 200 people for free.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Yeah, it'd be nice if concerts did. If concerts today would do that.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, a friend of mine, he used to be my next door neighbor. He grew up in San Francisco, and he'd be an interesting guest on my podcast if I ever get him going, because he was getting in a lot of trouble when he was in high school. And so he joined the military. Actually, he was hoping to go to Vietnam, but he wanted to be sent to Germany because his last name was Kanan. He was German. But when he got back from the military, all the friends he was getting in trouble with had joined the Hells Angels. And he joined the San Francisco Police Department. But the stories he's told me about the Haight-Ashbury, about the Golden Gate Park, where people like um, Grateful Dead would come and play for free. Janis Joplin would play for free, and everybody was there. And everybody there was doing drugs. Everybody was stoned, and he'd have to go there as an undercover cop. You know? And anyway, he still stayed good friends with all his Hell's Angels buddies. In fact, a couple of times he called me. Some of them rode their bikes up here, and he wanted me to go have sushi with them all. And I happened to be at work, and I didn't get the message till after the fact. Anyway, Pete would have some good stories because some crazy things happened up there that he was right in the middle of.
Oh, I would honestly love. I would love to hear that. I think that'd be a really cool guest for you to have. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it might have been a little bit awkward, that he was, in the police department. He has friends that are in Hell's Angels.
Right.
Pretty sure that, to me, I don't know, but to me, that sounds a little awkward.
No, yeah, exactly.
Because when I hear the words Hell's Angels, I'm like, uh-huh.
I seen him on a chopper that they gave to him as a gift. The Hells Angels did.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love choppers. Those are beautiful bikes.
I know.
Beautiful. Just beautiful. I just won't go on one because I don't want to give my mother a heart attack. So I'm trying to be the good daughter and try not to get on the motorcycle.
Right. I
was gonna say, going back to the free concerts, I would love to see Janis Joplin. I love Joplin. I love her.
Me too. I mean, Jefferson Airplane, all of those big bands, Grateful Dead, they all played free concerts at back in the mid '60s. I mean, that would just be insane.
I would have been front row for Janis Joplin in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah, and the migration to San Francisco was just insane. I mean, just hundreds of thousands of long hairs just left from all over the country and converged on, you know, the Haight-Ashbury, San Francisco, the whole area there, you know.
Yeah, it's just I guess you can call it like the psychedelic phase in the
Yeah,
music.
it was totally the psychedelic phase, yes.
That's what I'm calling it, because that's what, to my knowledge, at least, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the psychedelic phase where a lot of things just started to come together. People started to become one for a short time. It was a short period,
Right.
but everybody just became one for a short period of time.
Right.
And,
Right.
and it was the music that brought them together, which I thought it was really cool, because people.
Yeah, it was the music that brought them together. Correct.
Yeah, it's the music. I mean, there's no doubt about it. The music brought them together.
No, like never before. They had all those protest songs. There's something happening here. I mean, Buffalo, Springfield, and there's a bunch.
Yeah.
Even Eric Burden had a great song called Sky Pilot that had to do with the Vietnam War. But I took off my iTunes. I put a whole playlist together of Vietnam era protest songs. They were just great songs.
No, I was thinking. Speaking of that, I think it was a Clearwater Creedence. CCR. I can never say.
Yeah, Fortunate Son. Fortunate Son, is that the one you think?
Yeah, there are a couple other ones like Proud Mary. I think.
Proud Mary
was a strong one, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like my professor in persuasive communication, talked about this. It's just like you just listen to it. You may sit down and just listen to it, and it's just like, but for me, being in that classroom, just sitting down and listen to it, I'm just like, it was like a boom boom across the face. It's like, why didn't I not even think about that? It's just like
right.
I was very clever of them to write a song like that.
Oh yeah. And there was a lot of cool stuff on Sgt. Pepper's. That was a great album.
Oh, I have that record.
I do too. I have the original. I used to go.
Oh man!
When I was 15 years old. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that was a real different kind of an album, but it was like my older brother loved that.
Well, it was. I think
we'd hitchhike out to Vegas and hang out at his house and listen to albums like that.
Well, I think a lot of it too has to do with kind of like experimental in some ways.
Right.
But if you kind of go back to like Rubber Soul for that matter too. I mean, in my opinion, I think the Sgt. Pepper's and Rubber Soul were experimental music because they're just trying to test out new things. And it was really it worked. I'm not gonna complain. It's like I love Rubber Soul. It's one of my favorite albums by them. And
go ahead. I'm sorry. No, all I was gonna say is that when I unboxed the Beatles, I unboxed the original Parlophone recording from the UK of Rubber Soul.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I
had another Parlophone original recording from the UK, and that was Help. So Help and Rubber Soul were both Parlophone UK originals,
That's huge.
And then of course I unboxed the finale on that one, like Marilyn Monroe's finale with Divas. I unboxed the White Album as the finale because I had acquired a fairly decent copy of it. I mean, there's a poster of each of the Beatles inside of it. Looks like they've never even been looked at before. I mean, they're just perfect. I mean, they're pictures, like 8 by 11. And then there's a big giant poster, person-sized poster.
Sure.
And it looked like it'd never been opened before. The vinyl was pristine. And it was original, the cover had the embossed the Beatles. Kind of hard to show it on the screen, but it did flash for just a minute, but it's embossed on there. And then down in the right-hand corner, the actual serial number, which one it is, was stamped on it, and they made 3 million copies. So to just have a White Album doesn't necessarily have much in the way of value. But what's important is the condition, original pressing, and how low your number is. Like Ringo Starr, the Beatles had the first 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ringo sold his at auction for 790,000. Number 2 or 3 or whatever it was. But mine was number 71,000, which sounds like a huge amount. But the serial number starts out 00, And I found some with it. There's not zeros. There's more numbers at even like A alphabets in front of that. There's 3 million, right?
Wow.
And so 71,000 into 3 million, if you do the math, is in the lowest, like 2% of low numbers because there's 3 million, right? So I like to tell it like that, the lowest 2%, because it makes it sound, you know.
Well, now I want to look at all my records and their numbers. I'm just curious, you know. It's just you just made me think about it. I'm like, you know what? I might need to go and send somebody to get that Fleetwood Mac original album, original pressing album, so I could take a look at that number.
Yeah.
But
Fleetwood Mac. I have Fleetwood Mac's Rumors, the original pressing.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, I found that at out of all places, I found that in a thrift store.
Oh wow!
I actually
we have
unopened. It was open. It still had plastic on it, but it was opened on the top. Like, oh, okay, then you know, I looked online at the original pressing, and then I looked at the number, and I'm like, oh, okay, we're gonna take. I'm like, my mind just went like whoosh. It's like, oh, I'm taking care of this puppy.
Well, you know, we have an antique store in Paso Robles, which is just 9 miles up the highway. And I have never seen so damn much vinyl, not in a regular vinyl store. There's some vinyl stores in San Luis Obispo. Boo Boo Records. Boo Boo Records is where I bought my Audio Technica 120, my vinyl player. Okay. Yeah, record player. But and they gave me this vinyl cleaner, and I've since come up with my own formula. This is more. This says, let's see, Royce's Secret Vinyl Cleaner, and that's what's in the spray bottle. I just made up a big batch of it, and I use a lot of it. I mean, I really spray my albums down, you know, and so anyway, they said, well, come back, we'll refill it anytime for $3. Well, I probably have $2 right here, you know, like 10 or 15 fillings of that spray bottle.
So what's the secret? What's the secret ingredient?
Okay, you mix okay, rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol.
Okay.
With okay, what's that kind of water? What's that water called? That's
distill? No.
What is it? Distill? Yeah.
Yeah.
You mix. I'm sorry. I've got a big bottle of both of them in the other room. Distilled water and rubbing alcohol, and then you take a little bit of this dishwasher release compound. It helps everything release off the album, and you put some drops of that in there and stir it all up, you know. Yeah, and that's what I use. And I spray it all the way around on my, or sometimes I'll just spray my cloth. You know, I've got the microfiber cloths, 4 of them. Sometimes I'll spray it on the cloth. Some of the older albums are kind of dirty when I first get them, and so I'll just spray it directly on the vinyl. And I just go around in a circle, you know. And if I don't like the way it looks, I'll spray some more and do it again. Then take a dry microfiber cloth and wipe it again. But this stuff works great.
Oh, I might have to try that out. You know, I'm just waiting to get better before I do that. But I definitely.
Yeah, I mean, you could go with the distilled water and the isopropyl alcohol, the rubbing alcohol. You can just mix that 50-50 if you want. You know, even though the isopropyl alcohol varies from 50% to 70%, you know, it really doesn't matter much whether it's 50 or 70. You pretty much just mix it 50-50.
Still the same.
Put a few drops of that dishwasher release in there, and
let's try that.
Shake it up. It works good.
Well, it's better than spending $3 to get something refilled.
Right.
That was a genius idea. I'm like, yeah, I probably would have done the same thing.
So anyway, so we got this. I was telling you about this antique store. Mm-hmm. I've got a lot of cool antiques, but that thing has so much good vinyl in it. I mean, the kind of stuff that you're looking for. It's like there, you know. I mean, there's just so much good stuff in there. He says he's got 3 suppliers stop by a week and check their area and add new vinyl to it, you know. So that's some of the stuff you think is hard to find, you might find 3 or 4 of them in there, you know.
So that's like a hot spot for you. That's
Yeah, that's a hot spot.
That's your
It's
hot
kind of my, that's my
spot?
favorite spot. I got another hot spot down in Orchid, California, and that's where actually where I located my White album. And I couldn't believe how good of a price they gave me on it too. But they've got since I spent over $100 the first time I went in there, now I get a 10% discount on anything in,
Right.
you know, on the main floor. They have a lot of higher end stuff too that's not part of that discount. But anyway, so that's a really good place. There's
Oh,
so much stuff that's crazy.
uh, you know, where I live, I live in northern Colorado. We used to have record stores. We had like a book, almost like a Barnes and Noble, but low end, called Borders, and they had like records, they had CDs.
Oh, I remember Borders. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we had one here. Then we actually had a really cool record store called Finest CD Records, and so they had like CDs. Oh, that was my jam. That was my place. It's like, and they had like shelffuls of vinyl, and that's where I found my first Kiss record. That's where
Oh, really?
yeah, my very first Kiss record was the original double platinum.
Oh, wow.
It was in dust cover, and I say was because silly me, silly I accidentally broke one of the records. So when that thing shattered on the floor, so did my heart.
Oh,
Yes,
man.
yeah, I did cry. Like, yeah, I did cry.
That's crazy.
I know, but I still have it. I still have the other records still in this dust cover. It's the original stuff. But they gave it to me for like $15.
Oh, wow.
But
Yeah, I don't have a single Kiss album.
that's okay. Everybody
Yeah.
everybody has their preferred taste. For me,
Yeah, but the thing is though, I mean, my granddaughter sang Beth with Eric Singer
right?
at a Sunset Winos concert, and that was just great. I mean, Eric would play the drums, Tommy Clofitas from my granddaughter's other godfather would play the drums. He's Ozzy Osbourne's drummer, and then so many people would show up. Brian Roxy would show up and play the guitar. Stefan would be playing the bass, and either Teddy Zigzag, who played with Guns N' Roses, or Dizzy, another keyboard player that played with Guns. One of those two would show up and play keyboards, and then there were so many guests that would show up. These are people that used to show up at the Cat Club and just sit in and just jam with the band. And so finally they had the entire band up here close, but all these people that used to show up and play, they all wanted to still come and play. I mean, Steven Adler, the original drummer for Guns N' Roses,
Yeah.
would show up. Slim Jim Phantom from the Stray Cats owned the Cat Club. He was always trying to show up and play the drums, but between Eric Singer and Tommy Plafitas, he rarely got to get in there. And so he was always off to the side playing a single snare drum. I kind of felt sorry for him because he wanted to get in there and just wail on the drums. And so finally one day I was watching a video, a Stray Cats video. Yeah, he was in the Stray Cats. He was the drummer. And I was feeling bad for him standing there with one drum and one cymbal while the other guys were on the big drum set. And here he was in one of the Stray Cats videos with one snare drum and one cymbal. And it's like maybe he was happy all along. This is what he likes to play. Honestly, I could not. That just blew my mind when I saw that. But anyway, all kinds of people would show up, when they played because they all just wanted to sit in. And,
that's cool though.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, it was fun.
That's great. That's great stuff. I love hearing about that stuff. It's not like every day, I get to hear or learn about this stuff, and it's just I like.
Right.
I mean, for those who know me, I'm a music dork, so it's just like I love hearing people talk about music, and just talk about their stories of famous musicians and so forth. And it's awesome.
I mean, Jordan the Lion would show up and make videos of the concerts and stuff,
Oh, sure. Yeah.
interview people, things. Yeah. The lead singer for Skid Row, he showed up with his guitar player.
Sebastian Bach.
Sebastian Bach, yeah.
Yeah.
And he got up and played a bunch of songs, sang a bunch of songs. And toward the end, I mean, the band played for a long time. And the band was really good. Really good.
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, Ryan Roxy, he's a hell of a guitar player.
Oh,
Funny too. He's very witty. He's very witty. You know, this was back when you know, people were thinking Trump was kind of soft on Russia and stuff like that. And he goes, well, you know what? Now we're going to do a patriotic song. That'll get everybody going. And he does Back in the USSR. I almost fell out of my chair. I thought that was so funny.
Yeah, no, I like Roxy. I've watched a lot of them. I'm an Alice Cooper fan as well, so I watched a lot of like live shows with Roxy in them, and just watching Roxy play that guitar. And I mean, I'm just like,
oh no, he just screams on the guitar.
Oh, yeah, it's great. I love it.
Oh my God,
yeah. And that's what, and just thinking about like the sound of that guitar, and or geez, even the instrumentation, the band as a whole. That's what Alice Cooper has always been about too. I mean, not just the character, but the instrumentation. Because when I go back, to his early years, it's just that instrumentation was just top notch.
Right. Oh no, absolutely. Now you've heard of the Hollywood Vampires, right?
Oh yeah, I have them on vinyl. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. There's different versions of the Hollywood Vampires. You might be thinking of the one that's got the actor that played in all the pirate movies and stuff.
Yeah, John Depp. Yeah. Okay. Yes, he knows too.
Okay, so oh my God. Oh, I'll be right back. We went to a play. It was like one of these rock and roll plays down in Hollywood. And actually, it was Betty and I and Amber and Stefan. They bought us the tickets. We went with them. And afterwards, we went over to have something to eat at the Rainbow Club. Well, the entire second floor of the Rainbow Club was only occupied by a small group of people. They were called the Hollywood Vampires. And Alice Cooper was one of them.
Right.
And George Harrison was one of them.
Okay.
And there for a little while, when John Lennon had broke up with Yoko, he started showing up and hanging out with them. Tom Petty was one of them. Jeff Lynne, Electric Light Orchestra was one of them. So they had this group there. Bob Dylan, I think, was one of them. And they called themselves the Hollywood Vampires. And that whole upstairs was just theirs. And they were in there all the time, just hanging out.
Oh my gosh. Drinking. So like before, with the collaboration with Joe Perry and Johnny Depp, there was actually
there was these guys. They never really had a band or anything. I'm going to say maybe the Traveling Wilburys may have spun off of that, not with Alice Cooper, but you had Tom Petty, Bob Dylan,
Well, I know. I didn't think about
and Jeff Lynne. So three of the Traveling Wilburys were part of that.
Wow, that's
Jeff Lynne, Tom Petty, and George Harrison.
I did not know that. I didn't know it was actually an original thing either.
Well, original thing at the time.
I'm serious. I'm like thinking about. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, and these are when I heard that, I really enjoyed that story. And at the same time, there was pictures of all these famous Hollywood actors and stuff all over the wall. And there's a picture of Joe DiMaggio and Marilyn Monroe, and that's where they had their first date. Joe DiMaggio and Marilyn Monroe. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still trying to wrap this around my head. I'm like, okay,
Rainbow.
like
there's just so much.
Yeah, no, it's just making me think. I'm like, wait a minute. So Joe Perry, Johnny Depp, okay, I get that. I don't mind that. They're great together. They sound great together. Yeah, but the original, there's like original Hollywood Vampires. I'm like,
Alice Cooper.
I need to look this up.
Alice Cooper, George Harrison.
Well, it makes sense. Like, that Alice would be original. It makes it makes perfect sense by all means.
Oh yeah. Oh, we were listening to Alice Cooper in like 1968 or 9.
Oh, he's old. All his early stuff's fantastic.
That was the best stuff. If you
I feel. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh, like Clones or Under My Wheel. 18.
Right. Yeah. I'm 18.
Like it. Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Here's an interesting Alice Cooper. Time Cooper goes to Colorado. I try to get tickets, or I get tickets. And something happens with my family. Yeah, I can't go every single time.
Oh, that's too bad.
I know. I'm waiting. I have tickets to see him with Marilyn Manson up in Red Rocks.
Oh, is that right?
And I'm like, I have a ticket. So I, kind of gave him to somebody else. Pitched my fit afterwards, but I got over it. But man, it's like, is this like bad luck or something? I hope not, because I'm still waiting for my turn. Because it's like
right.
Because I can tell you when I walked at graduation, I'm sitting in my walker, School's Out was playing in my head.
I can imagine.
That was my final sign off. Like, associate, bachelor's, it's been fun. See ya.
Okay.
But it's just like his early stuff's just, I can't explain it.
His early stuff was really good. Yeah.
Like Black Widow or Be My Frankenstein. Hey Stupid.
Right. Right.
I like Hey Stupid.
I know. What's funny is I was in that. All these antique stores have vinyl now. So we're over on the coast, and we're in. You know where Cayucas is?
No.
Morro Bay, Cayucas. Oh, okay.
I don't.
We're over there in Cayucas, and I said to Betty, I said, we just got through having calamari and stuff at one of our favorite restaurants. And I said, well, let's go across the street to that antique store, just check it out. I didn't mention vinyl because when I get in there and start looking at vinyl, it's like I'm in there for like an hour and a half, And I'll put a big stack on the table and say, can I, at the, the checkout, and say, can I leave these here for a minute? And then I find a bunch more. Then pretty soon I'm narrowing it down to the 20 to the 3 I'm going to buy, right?
Oh, that sounds like me. Like the nearest vinyl store here is like in Fort Collins, and that's like 25 minutes away, or down Boulder, and that's like 35 minutes away. So
yeah,
I mean, I could go to Barnes and Noble, and that's 25 minutes away. And sometimes they have good stuff. And so,
yeah.
But it's just hard for me, it's like I would love to go back, and I'm just like you too. When I visit Bazaar in Fort Collins, I had a stack of vinyls.
Right.
Well,
I went into this one in Cambria I was telling you about, and I'd never seen so much Frank Zappa, some Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention. And I hadn't really listened to him in a long time, to be honest with you, but as a teenager I did, and a little bit after that. And I thought about, well, I could do a Frank Zappa show, He's been gone for a while and stuff like that. The next thing I knew, Joe Travers, I guess, the Baltmeister, was involved with re-releasing some, and it was like it just blew up all over the internet. And I really kicked myself I didn't sneak in a Frank Zappa show. It might have got a lot of likes or views or something from that,
Well,
but because it's trendy. Things are trendy. If like right after Eddie Van Halen died, the first person to pick that up in a vinyl contest, of course, won, because nobody's going to go against Eddie Van Halen. Everybody loved him, and he just died.
Oh, yeah, that.
And you talk about somebody that looked like they were having fun on stage. Eddie Van Halen really looked like he was having fun on stage. It wasn't like a job for him. He was loving it. Yeah.
Just I could tell. It's kind of like when I saw you've seen Aerosmith live, and right? You've seen Aerosmith.
I actually haven't seen Aerosmith.
Oh, you're missing.
I know. No, yeah.
Oh, well, you can think of pandemic for that, because they're going to be back on tour next year. Last time I checked. Next year.
Okay.
Last time I checked. And so
it was a bunch of people I didn't get to see, like Led Zeppelin, Jimi Hendrix. And I could have. They played in California while I was living here.
Oh, I would love to see Led Zeppelin. I have
my God.
Led
Can you imagine?
2 on record. Oh, it's good.
I loved it. I was probably Led Zeppelin's biggest fan when they came out,
Oh, my mom loved it.
What's funny was, they released Led Zeppelin 1, and it didn't have any singles on it. So back where I lived in Henderson, Las Vegas, they had one rock station, Kino, that played the top 40. Well, if you didn't have a single, so I didn't even know about Led Zeppelin 1 until they released Led Zeppelin 2, and a whole lot of love was the same, and it just blew the roof off, It was like,
Yes.
you mean to tell me they've already have an album out? But they both came out the same year. They both came out in 1968.
Yeah, they did.
Zeppelin 1 and 2,
Yep.
you know.
No, I was
So
there's a country artist by the name of Gretchen Wilson, and I saw her live at our Stampede, and she actually did a cover of Black Dog.
oh,
But
that's a great song.
Oh, I mean, she hit the high notes so well. And I remember just sitting there, I'm just watching her. It's like there's in my mind, I'm like, there's absolutely no question that Led Zeppelin influenced her. Because I mean, she talked about having fun on stage. She was just going to the point where I'm pretty sure I'll ruin my vocals. So, which I'm pretty sure I would still do. And so it's just amazing how a band like Led Zeppelin,
oh yeah,
it can really influence people. You know, I can understand
really
people, I can understand too why people love Jimmy Page. I'm like, holy cow!
Oh yeah,
another wonderful guitarist. He's actually one of my top guitarists. So it's just
absolutely. Him and Hendrix to me are always 1 and 2.
Oh, my favorite. I was going to tell you this earlier. My favorite is Jeff Beck. I think.
Well, yeah,
I love Jeff Beck. I love him. I haven't seen him live, but
I've seen him live.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh.
But he was with a bunch of other people. It was actually a tribute to Hendrix.
Really?
And everybody came out and played Hendrix songs. It's like the greatest living guitar players all came out and played Hendrix songs. And then they would pair up and come out as groups and play more Hendrix songs. And it was just, I was telling people for years it was the best concert I ever saw. It was just great.
What? So I'm going to ask you this question. It just popped in my mind regarding records.
Okay.
What record do you regret not buying? Or has there ever been a record that you regret not buying for your collection?
Well, looking back, there's so many things that are rare now. You know, the original Led Zeppelin 1, they didn't make that many of them, where it says Led Zeppelin up here.
Yeah.
That's usually in red. They made a group of them where that was in turquoise. And those things are like, they're all in collections, you know.
Yeah.
The lettering was turquoise. And I would have loved to have got my hands on that.
Oh.
Let's see. A lot of the stuff let me think about that for a minute. That's a really
it's a good question.
It's a really good question. Yeah.
Well, it just occurred to me.
Most of the time I would get, if I didn't, you know, I mean, vinyl kind of fell on, you know, hard times for many, many years. I mean, 8 tracks. When I was 16 years old, I was buying 8-track tapes, you know, and at the time I had a lot of vinyl though too. And my parents had a lot of vinyl. And there was some there for my brother and some there for my sister. And so there was always a stack of vinyl, 45s and albums. And a lot of it I have to this day that was from my house, you know.
That's awesome.
And then there was a bunch that I wish I had.
I have
but you know, things that I've, like Michael Jackson Thriller. I mean, I won't tell you I was a huge Michael Jackson fan, right? I mean, when Jackson 5 came out and he was singing 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, I'm listening to Led Zeppelin and Hendrix. I mean, give me a break. I'll never forget, I was walking uptown. I was 17 years old, and these guys I knew from school picked me up to give me a ride. And I have no idea. I had 3 vehicles from Harley Davidson at the time. I don't know why I was walking, but I was. And they gave me a ride, and I got in them. And the Jackson 5 were playing, you know. And one of them, and I was in the back seat, and one of them looked at the other and goes, "About time Michael came out with a great song." And I almost asked to be let out of the car. You know, it's like, I can't hear any more of this. But anyway, but later in life, I began to really appreciate, you know, I mean, like Thriller, that was kind of a big thing. Oh. That was during That was during MTV's heyday, where they were playing all the Thriller videos.
It was good.
You know, and then the songs off of Beat It and stuff. And, you know, Billie Jean's Not My Lover and Thriller and all, you know. And those songs were like big hits, you know. And so it's I have the original press of the album, actually.
Oh.
And I've never unboxed it. I even have the sequence glove.
I like the glove.
I have the sequence glove, the black hat, and the sequence socks. I was gonna make a video of me moonwalking, but because I used to be pretty good. I used to be pretty good at it to amuse
I
my
want it. It's the
to
glove.
amuse my kids. I used to be pretty good at it.
The glove breaks me. It does.
So anyway, so to me, this is probably the most valuable thing Michael Jackson has.
Oh, sure.
So I've got that. I also have another one that's a picture disc with him on it too.
Oh, yeah.
Michael Jackson on it.
I actually have Thriller, and it's like a picture vinyl.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then I have
found that at Target, of all
I
places.
got original pressing of Dark Side of the Moon, Pink Floyd.
Classic album. Classic.
We just listened to this about a week ago, and I would have unboxed it, but it's the only Pink Floyd I have. I keep eyeballing the wall, the 2-album set at Walmart. It's like $44, and I go, no, I'd rather have the original if I come across it, but who knows, you know. But so anyway, I have that. We just listened to that. It's great. I haven't made a quick video of it.
That's
Anyway,
that's an iconic album.
Yeah, I mean, some of the stuff I'm really bummed about is I have all the Led Zeppelin stuff on CD and currently none of it on vinyl.
Did you know? Well, I saw this the other day online. Did you know that there's like a converter where you can convert like CDs like into like records, like actual records?
No, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either till I looked it up. So,
well, you know, my vinyl player, my Audio Technics 120, also has a USB port, and I think I could play that into my computer and load it into my computer or onto a SD card or something, you know.
Yeah, that's cool.
A friend of mine came over recently. It was my birthday, and she gave me this little MP3 player and loaded it with all kinds of bits of music. Oops, let's just destroy it. And it gave me the headphones.
Nice.
And gave me all this stuff. I was really almost embarrassed to give me some of my stuff. But she also gave me this. And this is like a speaker all the way around.
Right.
And it has a little SD card in it. It's got like, you know, 1,000 songs on it or something like that. So this has got a ton of music on it, and this has a ton of music on it. And I can add, you know, because she didn't ask me what I like, she just put all this music on it. But we had very similar tastes.
That's so good. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, more,
you know, because I started listening to this the other day, and there's like Led Zeppelin on it and everything, you know, and it's like, wow, that's great.
Like, if one of my record player was up here, I would crank.
You know, in my iTunes, I don't know how many hundreds and hundreds of songs I have in my iTunes in different playlists and stuff, you know. So buying vinyl again, you know, I mean, that just started like the last year or so, you know, because nobody was listening to vinyl. But I'll never forget something that Neil Young said, you know. I was taking guitar lessons from a guy that he wouldn't buy any CDs. He strictly had all his old vinyl, loved it. And I said, well, you know, I was just reading a story. Neil Young said that he said, you know, because everybody was talking about how clear the sound was. Mm-hmm. I mean, my neighbor who sold audio equipment will say you could hear people breathing. CDs are so clear and all this stuff. I don't remember ever hearing anybody breathe. What Neil Young said was it was like a screen door. And when you throw the music through the screen door, what does make it through the holes is very, very clear. But because they're at the screen, some stuff bounces off the screen and it's lost. So some of the nuances of the music are lost listening to it on a CD as opposed to vinyl.
That's awesome. I like that.
And you know, and not all you know, remakes of the vinyl are created equal too. I put a couple of things and I'm like, what the hell is what's wrong with my system? But it wasn't my system. It was just a really bad copy of the originals, you know. And because my system out there, this is a 7.2 surround sound. And I've had it for a long time. It's not new. But when I bought it, I had a 400 disc carousel, but movies and DVDs in it. I mean, DVDs are the movies, but movies and CDs in it. I had to keep a book on what was in what number, you know. But anyway, so I had that, and then when when that thing finally broke down and quit working, I wound up not using the stereo for a long time. And so now I've got my new record player, plugged into that. It was coming out of all the speakers, 3 in front, 2 in back, huge subwoofer hidden in the cabinet. And so it sounds really good.
Oh, I bet. No, I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I just have like a Crosby, just a simple Crosby record player right now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm like, I just made mental note myself while you're talking. One day, I'm gonna get that system. That you just mentioned. Like,
well, you know what?
So
my record player is out in the family room, next to the television on a big cabinet, and it's like, I really need one in here because I would listen to it just, in here working and stuff, on the computer. I would be listening to records nonstop, I mean, I do have my iTunes. I do have this. I do have that.
Oh, same.
I have plenty of ways to listen to music, but when you're getting ready for a show or something, you want to sit here and listen to those albums you're going to play over and over again.
Well, for me, like
I do.
Yeah, I speak for that too. It never gets old for me.
Yeah, exactly.
There's times where I get into a vinyl crave where I just really want to listen to like a Carole King or Dave Brubeck. I have a couple jazz records up there. I have Stan Getz, and I love his Bossa Nova record.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's beautiful. It's like you get the bongos. It's everything like that.
Yeah, I like that kind of stuff too.
It's just perfect. And speaking of like old records and stuff, I actually have my late grandfather's jazz collection.
Oh, you do?
I do. Well, yeah, my dad, held on to them for a long time, and he's actually okay with me having possession of them. And there's some, I'm not sure like the original pressings. I would like to go through those sometime and take a look.
Yeah.
But he has actually a really good Bing Crosby record that has the original version of White Christmas.
Oh, okay.
And I actually have a big collection of Bing Crosby I found at a thrift store. And that
no kidding.
Yeah, I like Bing Crosby. I like his voice, and I was
that's the kind of stuff my mother. That's the kind of stuff my mother played in the house.
Well,
Bing Crosby, Perry Como, and
I'm not a huge Barry Como fan. I'm more of the Bing Crosby and Frank Sinatra era.
Yeah.
I have one Frank Sinatra album.
I have one Frank Sinatra album too.
I mean, it's a record collection. You gotta have Sinatra, in my opinion. You just gotta.
You have to have Sinatra, yeah.
I mean, it's not like you.
Blue Eyes.
It's great, yeah. It's great we have all that, but come on, you gotta have the Sinatra in there. But I also have his daughters, Nancy Sinatra, a record.
Yeah, I have the one where she's wearing a pair of boots and a short skirt, and it's got these boots are made for walking on it. Yeah.
Yep, me too, actually. Yeah, I like that's actually a good album though.
It actually is, yeah.
Yeah, like Day Tripper, couple other ones on there.
That's a great Beatles song, Day Tripper.
Day Tripper.
Yeah. Bum, 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 bum. I used to play that on the guitar. Yeah, no, we got into jazz. We got into jazz for a while. In fact, I went to where was it? It might have been UNLV, the University of Vegas. We used to go to concerts there once in a while. And Ramsey Lewis, jazz piano player, was there.
Okay.
Yeah. So we got into jazz for a while, and I was listening to him.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
I built a house for Chuck Greenberg, and Chuck Greenberg was in a jazz band called Shadowbacks. They were more newer. They weren't like old jazz. But at the time that I was building his house, they had like 13 albums out, and we're producing more all the time. And he did all the mixing. I built this little room below his house. We'd have all the stuff down there. And he'd mix it all. And stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? It wasn't a year after I finished that house, he died of a heart attack. Yeah. It's terrible. Yeah. He was a great guy too. He was fun to hang out with.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think, it's like I like jazz music, but to a certain degree, it's like there's like again with Frank Sinatra, I don't call him jazz, but old school per se.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, but like with Stan Getz, that's kind of jazz that I like. You know, it's just like
Wait, who was that again?
Stan Getz.
Oh, okay.
Stan Getz. He's probably. I took a history of jazz at a community college before I transferred to the university.
Oh,
So
okay. Okay.
that's where it became really eye opening for me.
I
Like,
can
oh
imagine.
wow, okay, there's more. Really, there are really other big artists like Miles Davis, which I already knew about, or John
Yeah,
Coltrane.
yeah. Miles Davis, Coltrane. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
just
You know, my older brother took a classical music class in college, and he was a hardcore rock and roller. And he grew to really like classical music.
that's good though.
You know,
No, classical music is good for the soul. It really is. You know, I mean, a lot of people find dull, but not really. You know, it's just like there's like for me, classical music's definitely the Mozart and Beethoven and the Travinsky or however you pronounce his last name and all the, you know what I'm talking
yeah,
about. And they're just brilliant, you know. It's just like I kind of it's
yeah,
like in many ways I view classical music like art. It's like art.
right,
You
right,
know, I think just art takes time and takes time and you're very careful to craft something and that's what classical music is in my opinion. It just everything just blends in so well in a delicate way.
right.
And it's just no, it's great. My late grandmother, she listened to a lot of classical music, and that's how I kind of fell into that trap, and that's okay because I learned a lot about it, and that's how music kind of started in many ways,
Okay.
and that's what I love.
Well, let me ask you. You asked me earlier if there was an album that I
Yeah.
regret not owning. And I was going to ask you the same question. Is there
Oh,
one that you
oh
regret you not
boy.
owning?
Okay. Yes. So as a kid and as an older kid, um,
Okay.
I'm a Monkees fan, and I've always been a Monkees fan. And so thrift store at Goodwill in downtown where I live, they Goodwill had all of that Monkees albums on sale, all of them,
Wow.
and I passed on them. And boy, do I regret that
Okay. I never told you this, but I ordered a Monkees album. I was trying to get together kind of a group of albums. I ordered it. I think it was their greatest hits. And it came in and
now.
I unboxed it and it was almost broken completely in half. Big cracks. And so I called and complained, took pictures of it. They immediately refunded my money. So that wasn't a problem. But since then, this antique store I'm telling you about that I go to,
Yeah,
they've always got 2 or 3 Monkees albums up there, old ones. I mean, like originals, you know.
they're
In
classic
fact,
albums.
the one that I had bought is up there. There's so much classic vinyl up there. They're like $17, marked 15% off. They're like $15 each. And honest to God, I don't think I've ever opened one that the vinyl didn't look perfect on. You
I
know,
mean, some people have different views on the Monkees, but their albums are really good. I mean, there's like a couple of songs like Words, obviously Daydream Believer, of all things.
yeah.
Last Train to Clarksville, just a
No, I
whole
love that song. That was a great
I
song.
like that one.
No, I grew up with all those. I grew up with
Yeah,
all those. Yeah, we used to.
but also, I mean, not just the Monkees. I passed up, and I made a stupid pass, and I should listen to my mother on this, but I didn't. I hate when I do that. Oh, because I know I'll regret it later, and I still do. The original copy of Bill Haley in the comics on
Oh,
record.
no kidding. Wow.
Yeah, and they have for like $50.
Right.
$50, but it wasn't high end. It was just in the stacks. And I'm like, get this record. I'm like,
Yeah.
no. I'm looking at something else. Get this record now. Think about it, I'm like, man, boy, did
Well,
I just miss out.
oh, man, what's hard to find now is like the Sun Records label, big yellow
Oh,
bright
yeah.
label. And I have an old Jerry Lee Lewis on Sun Records. And the cover is a little, it's been rubbed back and forth with the other covers for like 50, 60 years. And I was up at that store I keep talking about, the antique store. And I found a really beautiful copy of it for like $15. So I bought it. And it was just so much nicer than the one I had.
Yeah. Sorry, that was my dog and camera. Like, you're lucky I can't tell you what to do right now. She's doing something she's not supposed to do, but I'm like, because I'm live right now. So she's taking advantage. I'll let her have it. But yeah, no, I think it's great. I wish, other than a thrift store, I wish there was like more places where I live that have. Okay, I take that back. There is an antique store in downtown, really, which I live in, and nice thrift store, and the whole basement has all these old Victor pressing.
Oh, it does it.
Old. I actually picked up a few. Well, when my other knee gets better, I have to go down and show them to you. I'll show them to you sometime. And
okay.
I found one that had Elvis on there, and so I went to pick it up, and so but oddly enough, it was the wrong record. Somebody put the wrong record in there, so it almost seems like somebody took the Elvis out of the sleeve. And I'm like, rude. It's like, oh.
Right.
But I think anything Elvis these days, you find it. That's gold or platinum.
Yeah, exactly.
But I get it. It's just like you gotta know where. I guess you got. Excuse me. I guess you need to know where to look to find the right stuff. It's like you have your you have your hot spot. For me, I'm just here, there, here.
Yeah, and I'm finding more and more hot spots. Like I said, there was always some big album stores in San Luis Obispo, but it's hard to find anything you like there. Every once in a while, but I can go to this other place. I can find Rolling Stones, Beatles, Clapton, all kinds of stuff. Just almost everything, pops in. The good stuff disappears real quick though, so I get in there maybe once a week and look around. I always find new stuff that I like.
I find a place that has like a lot of those Rolling Stone records. I'll be in there forever.
Oh, I know. Me too.
I mean,
I bought two Stones albums up here at this one, and I've seen duplicates of both of them now. So I mean, they just have, and I would think that a couple of them would be really hard to come by.
Oh, absolutely. I found the original pressing to the emotional rescue album, but it's really beat up. But but the record's in great condition.
Oh, okay.
And that's a great record.
It's a great record, yeah.
Oh, I mean, the whole emotional rescue album is it's brilliant, in my opinion. It's just like they add like a little bit of the funk, kind of just mixed it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Boom.
I feel that way also about Sticky Fingers. I think it's a great album. And also some girls.
I have a repress. I got that. I bought Sticky Fingers on CD on the anniversary, and what was done was like a card that says congratulations, you get a vinyl of the CD for free. So I just went on the right website, told me to didn't cost me anything, and in a week and a half I have a repressing of Sticky Fingers on vinyl.
You have the one with the zipper?
No, I wish I did, because I'm jealous that everyone has the one with the zipper.
I don't have the one with the zipper, but I'm jealous too.
I was like, that's a rare find too. So it's like,
rare.
Oh, it's rare. I'm like, oh my. Oh. I saw.
I would jump on that in a heartbeat. It wouldn't even, if it was $100, I might buy it. My wife was.
I was like, yeah, I know. In Barnes and Noble, sometimes they have like really good albums and dust covers. They had the original cover of Too Expensive, but they had the original cover of Let It Bleed or something. It was the one with the cake.
Okay. Let It Bleed. Yeah, like a birthday.
Right. Sure. And but they had it out for $80 though. I'm like,
and that's just the cover. They're just selling the cover.
Well, it's in a dust cover, and I mean it's original too.
Oh, okay.
Because sometimes they sell the originals. I mean, I found that repress of Beggar's Banquet at Barnes & Noble. It was in the bargain bin.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Rolling Stones.
Yeah, we have a Barnes & Noble here, but I don't remember ever seeing vinyl there.
I know. It's just like, but $8, but the Let It Bleed was the original pressing. I'm like, I can understand the $8. I just don't have it right now, and that sucks.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I'll wait for me in 2 months.
Right.
It's like,
Right.
I'll be back and I'll pick you up. I promise. You're gonna look
I
into my collection. Yeah, I can't. My mom, the university I graduated from, they have like this big music thing, this big music inventory
okay.
sale, and there's some really good records out there. They had like Cream, they had Rolling Stones on CD with like Ruby Tuesday and all that. I look
Yeah.
forward to that every year. I'm gonna miss that.
Right. Right.
But it's interesting because the music library on campus, Skinner Music Library, you can actually rent the records from there. They'll actually let you rent the records. So every record they have is original pressing.
No kidding.
I kid you not. They have over 300 records in that library. And I cannot tell you
That's crazy.
how many hours I spent just looking at the rock
Just looking at them.
And then go to the CD section. Then just for kicks, you go to like the music sheet section, see what they have.
Right, right.
It was my happy place for a while, but it was just it's kind of cool, like how influenced people can be.
Oh yeah.
Music, especially now generation, because I'm realizing now that the younger generation are starting to collect vinyl as well, which I think is great.
No, I do too. Yeah.
It's like for me, vinyl records are like an old book. Because like old books have that distinctive smell,
Right.
And so every time I go to the record store, I kind of compare to this bookstore because I can smell that distinctive smell when I pick up a copy of a
There is a distinctive
Meatloaf
smell.
album.
You're right.
Yeah, it's like that smell, just that welcoming smell. It's like I just love it. I embrace it. It's almost like a bookstore.
Right. Yeah.
Been forever in that store. I'm just going
No,
to.
I tell you what, I've become like a total vinyl junkie. I mean, I just love buying albums,
No, it's great.
I mean, I did everything I could to collect stuff that the family had owned and stuff like that. I know my younger brother made off with a bunch of my albums. He probably doesn't have them anymore. He was a great guitar player though.
My dad still claims that he still has his Beatles records downstairs in the storage room. And I spent like maybe 2 years in that storage room looking.
Can't find them.
And no, there were jazz records. I was bummed about that, but I'm like, yeah, I couldn't tell if it was bluff for me or not. But I didn't ask him. But I'm like, if that was a joke, you're joking with the wrong person, buddy. Don't joke with the music people. We take things seriously.
Right.
I'm like, I wish there were originals down there because I've
I know.
just having like the originals and represses in my collection, that'll seal the cake. But
yeah,
totally. I was gonna tell you something about Alice Cooper. What was it? I actually have the original pressing of Alice Cooper Goes to Hell.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's like a storybook, just about storybook music kind of. I like it. He's a very.
I haven't heard. I haven't heard that.
You haven't heard that? Oh, this was like old 70s.
Okay.
So yeah,
I may have heard it along the line, but didn't really get to listen to it, or doesn't stand out, or
I have to look at the track list. I'll get back to you on that one. I can just Google it. But it was a great record. I remember playing on my record player, just turning it up all the way up, and just hearing Alice do what Alice does. It's just like just satisfying. Just playing the right album at the right moment, and just turning that volume up. Nothing beats that moment.
That's right, huh?
Oh, it's great. It's like
nothing beats that moment.
Oh no, it's like people have their other ways of finding that high or whatever. And it's just for me, it's just listening to music or playing that record and just turn it up. I'm good to go for a good couple hours.
That's pretty much how I am too. Yeah.
It's just like for me, people say that music is universal.
Totally.
I'm not ruling that out. I think it is. You know, it has a way to reach people. It has a way to unite people, kind of like us stuck in the pandemic bubble. So, you
Mhm.
know, just how it just shows you how powerful music can be through the toughest of times.
That's right.
I mean, it can really bring people together with the peace and everything, just everything. Even if you go through the history of rock and roll, I mean, music really brought people together. I mean, it's just like it started
Yeah.
with, I mean, everything just began with slaves because they were just bonding, and everything just progressed from there. So it's just
Yeah.
amazing. You know,
It is.
it is, it's like that's why I like talking about people about, because I get to hear like how this song makes them feel and why they like this song, even though it may not be a popular song, but you like it and it moves you for a certain reason. I love hearing that stuff.
Right. Right. Exactly.
And that's what I want people to know, especially younger generation. Music has a way to move us. It could be rock and roll, it could be today's music, and then it could be country. It could be anything.
No, it's kind of hard to define what's going on today because like I've got a 16-year-old grandson and a 13-year-old granddaughter, or my youngest daughter, and they go back and forth between here and their dad's house out in San Luis Obispo. But I'll mention music and stuff, and they're listening to something that I'm not even hardly even aware of. There's a whole new kind of rap or something.
Oh,
And I don't even know who any of the artists are anymore.
I know there's like some music my siblings play. I'm like, it's like, I don't know. It's like a new language for me. Who is that? It's like,
Yeah, they'll get in the car and they want to find this rap station, and it's like, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's a lot of rap I like. I haven't listened to it in a while, but I
I'm
mean,
saying,
there
it's
was a lot
like,
of rap.
speaking of rap, I'm a huge fan of like old school rap. Like,
Yeah,
you go to old school. Okay. Now, if you're going to talk about current, the only rapper that I really like is Eminem.
Eminem was great, and I even like
Oh,
the
Cool
movie
is
Mile.
great too.
Yeah, he is
He
great.
just
Yeah,
released some new music not too long ago. Oh,
yeah, he's really
he was
good,
brilliant.
really good. Yeah,
Yo,
and I liked 50 Cent too,
50
and
Cent.
I learned to like Snoop. I saw Snoop Dogg in concert, and saw Ziggy Marley in concert at the same
Oh,
place.
his new
Little
dog.
a little a little restaurant out in the middle of nowhere,
That's
rural
awesome.
Santa Margarita, all out there by itself. And Willie Nelson would come, every year, Willie Nelson and friends, and you never see so many huge, beautiful buses parked up and down the road, and Willie Nelson and friends were there.
That would be awesome. I like Willie.
Yeah, no, he's good. He's good.
He's awesome. I like him. He's funny
Yeah,
too.
yeah, he is. Yeah,
I like his humor. Yeah.
yeah, but
Now, speaking of rappers, my mom one time, they're in Texas, and Lil Wayne.
no,
That
Lil Wayne. Yeah,
yeah,
I kind of like Lil Wayne too.
he's in jail right now. I think.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think so. I think it's, or maybe it's somebody else. Like one or two gun charges. But
Oh, geez.
anyway, but Lil Wayne. So my mom was in the hotel lobby. You see all these young kids just going over there getting autographs from Lil Wayne. And mom's like, heck is Lil Wayne? And then she goes, I mean, I don't know who he is, but I can understand why they call him Little.
Right. Yeah, I like him.
That's what she said. I'm serious. That's what she said. I'm like, huh?
Right. I like that whole group that came out of NWA.
Oh,
Dr. Dre and
Dr. Dre is.
yeah,
I like DMX. I thought
yeah,
he was. I like the old school like Tupac, Biggie.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
The guys that did the song. Whoop, there it is. Boom, shaka. You know, I've been watching that commercial too much, but I've seen it too much. Every time I see that commercial, I end up singing the whole thing along with them. So, but it's just like the old.
I used to put the song the whatever I was listening to radio on a repeat when California Love came on. And I love that song. You know which one I'm talking about?
I think it's very familiar.
Tupac and Dr. Dre, of course,
Oh,
and California Love.
I've heard,
Yeah,
I've read about it personally.
yeah, it's a great song.
I've read some really good things. But I said,
Yeah,
well, going back to like,
watch the video on YouTube. California Love.
God, I might have to look it up now. But man,
Yeah.
but Tupac, I'm like, oh, that guy was legendary.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I
man,
still have a lot of his stuff.
legendary. Oh my gosh.
I have like yeah, I can't think of the names of the album.
That's
Well,
okay.
the
No,
CDs.
no, but he was great. It was sad the way he died.
Better days, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There was, speaking of old school, like Run DMC, like before they meshed with Aerosmith and after they meshed with Aerosmith, I liked Run
yeah,
DMC. And
yeah.
when I remember watching MTV when Aerosmith and Run DMC, premiered the video of Walk This Way.
Well, I love that video.
I just love the fact that
That was
Aerosmith
so
trying to
funny.
sing, and
I mean, Steven Tyler, put his head to that,
or Joe Perry like busts, or was it? No, was it Joe Perry? Yeah, Joe Perry like breaking down the wall, trying to
I
figure out
think
what.
so.
Well, when he peeks his head, like
That was
like,
great. I
what's
mean,
going on?
right.
It cracks me up. They're trying to sing right before students start singing. They start rapping the lyrics. Students like, hey, like
Let me ask you something. What happened to MTV? I used to love watching the music videos.
I don't know. I will admit I do watch Teen Mom time to time because there are a couple of characters like kind of care about. Um, or used to, but I don't know what happened. I just
Now they
think,
got a movie called Ridiculousness, which is ridiculous,
well,
and it plays on both channels, both MTV channels, all day long.
I used to watch
Never.
VH1.
Yeah, no, same here. And
I
even CMT,
yeah, it's like
Country Music Television. Yeah,
I used to leave like MTV on all day long while I was growing up, and VH1 too. I
we
had
did that. We did that too.
everything back to back. I knew it was coming out, like Carson Daly's countdown, to like award shows, to interviews. Like when music really mattered. Now it's all, drama this, drama that. It's just like
Right,
like
right,
he got her pregnant, or they hooked up that night. I'm like, I don't care. Your music television. I don't care.
right,
Bring back the spaceman.
right,
Bring back the astronaut. Just play Kiss Unplugged. Play Brian Adams Unplugged.
right,
Do
right.
something like that. Play Aerosmith Run DMC on. I don't care. 2 a.m. Do something.
Right. Remember they used to have Headbangers Ball on real late at night.
Oh, I remember that. Or late at night.
Yeah.
Yep, they'll have views ahead.
Right.
I used to watch that a lot behind my parents' back. If they were ever to catch me watching Beavis and Butthead, I'll get grounded. It was so. I'll tell you right now, it was so worth the risk.
Yeah, it was.
They made fun though. I'm like, they watch all these music videos and they have funny commentary. They wear, music band shirts.
Right.
They're not smart by any means, but
no.
But they love music. So it's just
right.
I think that's why I fell in love with that, because like they love music. They weren't the smartest individuals, but at the same time, they were smart with music.
Exactly.
And that's where, I guess we see Wayne's World fell in the MTV era too, because Wayne's World brought in a whole bunch of music along the way, if you really think about it.
Yeah.
So like Bohemian Rhapsody in the car.
Yeah, that's right.
Or trying to get Aerosmith to do Wayne Stock, to meet Alice Cooper. It's like in many ways that both Wayne's World 1 and 2 are nostalgic movies about music, because you got these two characters who love music. Of course, they love women. We all knew that, but they love their music.
Yeah, that's right.
And the
what
way
it was all about.
And the way Wayne looks at that guitar, I get that.
The white holy grail, yeah.
Yeah, with the whammy bar, yes.
What I thought was funny was like, anybody practicing the guitar would love to learn how to play Stairway to Heaven, at least parts of it. And I think it was Wayne picked up a guitar.
Yeah.
He hit one note, right? He hit one note, and the salesman grabbed the neck and pointed at a sign and said, "No stairway."
Stairway heaven denied. My favorite.
Denied. Right.
No, denied. Like
I
what?
love that scene.
No, my favorite one still has to be the YMCA dance. Where they dress like the rich people, they're laying spy on his girlfriend.
I have that. I have that album.
Oh.
I got like 4 or 5 Village People albums that were given to me recently. Yeah,
that's right. And that scene just cracks me up because they're like spying, and then next thing you know, they turn into some kind of trouble into something spectacular. I'm like,
right.
Yeah, I seriously see myself go on stage with them and dancing with them too. I would too, in a heartbeat.
Right. Oh no, we've danced to that song many times. It was always real popular. YMCA is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
YMCA.
Yeah. No, that
was a fun dance. Everybody was doing the YMC. I can't remember how to do it, but everybody was doing that when that came on.
It's like a triangle going over your head.
Right.
I have bad shoulders, so I'll spare everybody on that one. But but yeah, no, but I could see myself doing that with them. I'll make a fool of myself just to do that for sure. But as long as I'm not the only one, we're good.
Right.
I'll go down to Blazing Glory with a whole bunch of other people. It's just I can't do that.
Blaze of Glory, yeah.
Let
me ask you. So Caitlin's Corner, right?
Yeah.
And so, what do you think is going to be your regular schedule?
I
even thought
yet.
About it yet?
That's the beauty of the show. Because I have a potential job waiting and a couple other projects looming over me, and of course, the big ass surgery is coming quick. I mean, next month, but next month's gonna be here before we know it anyway. So I don't know yet. I like Fridays, even though people are out right now. I'm sure just having fun, socially distancing. I hope, being smart.
Right.
I said hopefully. I like to do like nights. I think basically because I'm a night owl and I don't even go to sleep till like 2 or 3 because I can't sleep. So I'm thinking of maybe doing like a late night thing, like a weekly. Wait, I would say daily, but things are just popping up so quick, and I kind of canned that idea. So I'm thinking of doing a weekly, nightly thing, and either it'll be with like you as awesome guest, or just topics like I told you before. I'm trying to do like this Breaking Bad thing because I just finished watching.
Oh yeah.
And how can I not talk about it? So, and I'm like,
right. I remember when you told me you finished watching it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was just I was just blown away, and I just started looking at theories from fans and just reading theories. So my goal is to do like a episode of what I thought about the show, how like who my favorite character is, who wasn't, who was the best villain of the show, and what was the best scene out of the whole series. What was the best scene? And I'm not gonna say that. I already labeled.
I need to go back to watching that. I didn't watch it.
You need to go back and watch it. I'll try to figure this whole thing out because I'm a huge, as you know, I'm a huge fan of Bryan Cranston. I love the guy.
Okay. Yeah.
Such a great actor. You could do comedy, you could do serious. I'm like, oh geez, it's like just seeing him with that Eisenberg stare, I'm like, oh, I'm not shredding it at all.
Right.
But so it's like, yeah, he said tread lightly. I'm like, there yet? I'm not treading at all.
Not treading at all.
Not treading at all. Have a nice day.
But yeah, I watched it 3 or 4 times. No one wanted to watch it with me here at the house, so I just kind of, like I said, 3 or 4, 5, 6 maybe times. But
it's on Netflix.
I'm gonna go back to watching it. Yeah, I mean, I get into stuff like that. Like I got into Sons of Anarchy. I don't know if you ever watched that.
Oh, no.
I got into Game of Thrones.
I never got into that.
No, you didn't. Okay.
No.
I like.
Not my jam. Not my jam.
No.
But it's just for me, I forgot where I left off watching Breaking Bad, so that's how it started for me. It was to start from the beginning and just figure out where you left off. And I'm like, I left off at season 4. I'm like, well, I could save a lot of time, but at the same time, like, why I started over because there's some stuff I missed. I'm like, really, I didn't realize that. And that's where I started looking at theories. I'm like, okay, so like next 2 episodes, I would like to do maybe like, again, just my perspective of it, what my theory is. And then that's where the next episode I'll talk about the theories and what I think about them. You know, it's like, for instance, did Walter White stage his death? You know, did Skyler, Walter's wife, did she commit suicide after the show? You know, did Jesse ever find his happiness? But if you go on Netflix, they actually made a movie, a Breaking Bad movie about Jesse right after he left Walt at the last episode. So I need to watch that before I do anything else. I just haven't had time to do so. And then there's also a TV show called Better Call Saul. It's based off that character, that turning character off the Breaking Bad show.
Huh.
So I need to, before I do any of that, I need to watch that, but I haven't had time yet. Well, partially because sports is in the way. You know, the Nuggets won and Lakers are out, oddly enough, and you got the Suns.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, don't. Yeah, I said, Suns, just kill my Nuggets nicely, please. Just quietly. I'm scared. Devin Booker, I'm like, good God.
Yeah.
Like, Jokic and Devin Booker going against each other. I'm like, it's like a grenade, you know? It's like.
When does that series start?
Yeah, it's soon, I would think. Pretty soon.
Any day, yeah.
Any day, I don't know, any day. You'll see on my timeline. You'll see it. You know, but I'll be praying that Devin Booker doesn't score, I don't know, 50 points in the first half or something.
Right.
Just seeing Damian Lillard shoot those 3 points, I'm like, you know, I'm like almost crying last night because he was just, you know, shoot. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we're done.
Right.
But they came back at 5-1. And I'm like, well done.
I like basketball. I got into basketball several years ago because, you know, the other like football, it's almost all on a weekend. It's really hard for me to sit home all weekend, you know. I mean, don't get me wrong. Huh?
I was gonna say I miss those weekends. I'm serious. Sunday. It's NFL Sunday. NFL Red Zone's on all day.
Right.
I'm checking my fantasy points all day.
Okay.
And that's who I am, you know? It's like,
right.
It's football. It's like, I just can't wait because, you know, fantasy football's starting to rev up in leagues already. You know, I'm like mock drafting like crazy right now. Trying to figure out, it's strategic. But yeah, no, I understand that you're viewing basketball. I get it. I also like the fact that it does play like on weekdays as well. I think that also goes for baseball for me too. I like the fact that baseball, not just on the weekends, but it's also on the weekdays as well. Even on YouTube has like a partnership with MLB, and you can watch like a weekly live game on YouTube.
Oh, you can?
Mm-hmm. You can look it up on YouTube. Just type in MLB, and they'll have all the games that they have streamed live on there. I watched a couple of great games already, like a Giants game of them just blowing out the Reds. And I'm like, that was fun to watch.
Wow. Yeah.
I like watching that stuff, but I think it'll get more exciting when things start going down because it's getting later into the year because it's almost July and the All-Star game. So my Rockies aren't going to go anywhere. Padres, yes. Rockies, no. But it's just fun to watch. It really is.
Right.
And basketball is just as fun because, it's fun to watch the three-pointers and the dunks.
Yeah, I like watching basketball. Yeah,
basketball's good. My dad.
Well, football was always my number one. To be honest with you, I played it in high school and stuff. I started playing it. I think you had to be in 7th grade, and I started playing it in 5th grade. And anyway, so I played football like
Oh, I love football. You know, Michigan.
I love football too. I just
I
got to the point where I had so many things to do on the weekend. I had motorcycles to ride. I had surfing to go do. Just I had so many things, that it was hard to just sit in front of the TV all day and watch football.
Oh, I love it. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because it's like I grew up watching football and just growing to
Oh yeah,
appreciate the sport and love the sport. Then the fantasy football, starts, and I start getting into that. I'm in 7 leagues, so it's just
right.
like football is kind of like a almost like Christmas for me. Just hearing the NFL
Opposite.
theme song, like or Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football. I'm like, let's go.
Right, right.
No, but of course, the fantasy football I always end up yelling at my TV because one of my players messed up. I'm like thanks a
Right.
lot. That was 10 points lost. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Right.
But no, I love it though.
I know.
Sports is my jam too, and I'm going to incorporate that into the show as well. I'm just still trying to figure that out. I'm kind of more on the
Yeah,
breaking.
I've got to see quite a few live football games. I had a friend whose dad had 5 season tickets to the 49ers, which are like
Oh,
four hours away from us. And so whenever he didn't go, he would give them to Joe and we'd go.
nice.
So we'd stop and buy some food for the tailgate party, and the games are always good. I got to see, well, first of all, Joe Montana was quarterback.
Oh,
When he wasn't in there, it was Steve Young. And I got to see the very first game Deion Sanders played with the 49ers.
oh
Now, I'm
man.
not exaggerating. He was out there on the field for the opening kickoff. He was kicking off. And he had to go back into the end zone and catch it. And he ran it from the end zone back for a touchdown, the opening play of the game. Deion Sanders' first game with the Niners. I swear to you, I never seen anybody run so fast. It was streak, 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 and he was in the end zone. But that was a really fun game. And
Oh
watching
yeah.
Joe Montana
Oh man. I
and
was
even Steve Young, Jerry Rice. I mean, it
oh
was
Jerry Rice.
just awesome.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
the
And so I
bomb.
got to go see a lot of those games. I got to see a playoff game. Yeah, one playoff game was played up there.
Any Super
And,
Bowls?
huh?
Have you seen any Super Bowls?
No, I never got to go to the Super Bowl. Some friends of mine did, but I've never been to.
Eh,
Have you?
no, I wish. It'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm a multimedia journalist. You would think now I'd be qualified just to go to a Super Bowl and just write about it. But no,
I
no,
had a
but
bunch of friends. I had a bunch of friends that went back to New Orleans to see the Super Bowl, and one of them used to be a little kind of crazy. He drank a lot. When he drank, he would get mouthy, and the guy's about 5'4" tall, and whenever he went someplace with guys, he'd show up all beat up or something because he'd disappear from the group, and then he'd start getting mouthy, and something would happen. But anyway, so they were all together, and somebody wanted the drinks. They went to a bar in New Orleans, got a drink, and there was a stripper up there on a strip pole. And so finally, they had the drink. They walked outside. We were standing on the sidewalk talking. Somebody said, "Where's Mike?" And well, I don't think he's come outside yet. They went inside to look for Mike, the one that's always getting himself in trouble because he used to drink too much. He was up completely naked on the strip pole. It's
oh my goodness.
Yeah, I saw him the last time I hung out with him. We were at the Snoop Dogg concert. We were walking around together drinking beer. He's actually a really good guy.
Probably a moment he will like probably forget too.
Very successful too. He owns a bunch of franchises. Yeah.
Oh, my good lord.
I know.
I went out live. That'd be pretty much a funny thing for me to see. Too bad. Too bad I wasn't around. Like,
Well, they said they walked in. He was up there completely nude with the stripper who was nude, messing around on the pole, and all the guys in there were booing him and throwing things at him.
I'll probably, yeah, I can probably see myself laughing in the crowd. Like,
Right.
that's funny.
I
Yeah,
know.
I was gonna tell you my first NFL game. I moved here in '93, and my dad got tickets to go see Broncos versus the Browns. And
good.
I actually got to see John Elway play. And
that would have been
that was huge.
Yeah. Well, he won the Super Bowl his last 2 years of playing, didn't he?
Yep, he did. He
Yeah.
did. But I didn't go to any of those games, but I got to watch them. But just being able to see, the Broncos down by, I can't remember, maybe 10, and
right.
late in the fourth quarter, and they won the game.
Right.
And that was awesome.
Those are such great games to see when that happened. I mean, Joe Montana was famous for that.
Oh, for sure.
The 2-minute quarterback, bringing a team back like that. And yeah, that's great to see. Tom Brady did that.
I was gonna say Tom Brady.
Oh, they were so far behind; it was like a miracle he won.
Oh my gosh! No, I was thinking Tom Brady. We mentioned Joe Montana. I was like, yeah, I'm like, and today, Mr. Tom Brady.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, seeing him go against the Atlanta Falcons, that was ridiculous. I'm like,
oh
good.
Yeah.
I mean, good. I'm like, not bad. I'm not a fan of Brady, but I do give him credit for being a player, and he's a great leader.
Yeah.
He carries that team. And you can tell he was like the center. He was like that part of the whole team, because now the Patriots are like flop. And then he went to Tampa Bay, to a team that was struggling, and look what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, I can't.
No, he's an amazing quarterback.
Oh, I
didn't expect him to have that much left, when he went to Tampa Bay.
No, but at the same time, I knew he wasn't going to retire. It was just a matter of where's he going to.
Right.
And there was a rumor going around like Brady to the Broncos. I'm like, no, that's just wrong. No. Aaron Rodgers to the Broncos. Yes.
That's just right. Wrong. Right. Did you see him hosting Jeopardy, Aaron Rodgers?
Oh, he's a smart guy.
Yeah, no, he was doing a good job too.
Yeah, he was funny. I kind of like how he kind of picks on the contestants. I think that was pretty. Keeping the Tribeca legacy alive. I like it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Alex Trebek, yeah.
But I was going to say, Tom Brady as a Bronco, I'm like, you know how horrible that would be? I mean, seriously? Considering the fact that I'll have to like him, I'm like, no.
Now, why do you think that'd be so terrible?
I just don't see him in our system. Okay, here's the thing. I love to hate him. I can't like him. I just
can't like him.
I just can't. Okay, yes, I did compliment him on his leadership, and I compliment him as an athlete. Okay, I have a lot of respect for him for that, but I can't like him. It's just, I don't know. It's just like one of those little flies going, that just go away.
And you never get rid of it.
You never get rid of it. Then you're like, oh, great. Yeah. Phew, he's away from the Broncos, going to Tampa Bay. Oh, Tampa Bay goes against the Broncos. I'm like, yeah, I can hear that fly. But other than that, it's amazing what he can do as an athlete, and I have a lot of I do respect him. He's just one of my favorite athletes I love to hate, give a hard time. But he's fun to watch, and I was stupid enough to bet against him at the Super Bowl. I bought into the Mahomes hype. And
I
learned my lesson. My youngest sister, she goes, oh, Super Bowl, great. No, great. Who are you betting on? I'm betting on Mahomes. Wait, isn't he going against that guy that beat the Atlanta Falcons in that Super Bowl? He was like in the Patriots, right? Yeah, Tom Brady. Look, okay, he's going to win. You're going to lose. I'm like, wait, what? No, Mahomes. No, just watch. He's going to win.
My son-in-law told me years ago, don't ever. He used to bet big on all the games. He was really watching them all weekend long through a bookie, and he used to tell me, don't ever bet against Brady.
No, I don't know. He lost. It was only 50 cents. It's not like I had much to lose anyway.
You're right.
I was expecting more out of Mahomes on that game. I was really disappointed.
Yeah, no, that was disappointing, wasn't it?
I was expecting more of Mahomes.
Yeah, me too.
I'm like,
I kept waiting for him to come back, and you know.
oh, like pass the ball to Tyreek Hill, just give it to the cheetah, pass it to Hill.
Well, it was so good in the previous Super Bowl. I kept waiting for it, you know.
Yeah, but the thing too is that their offensive line was horrible. I mean, absolutely horrible. I mean, the Buccaneers defense is probably one of the best defenses right now because they got a lot of the former players back this year, so they're revving up.
Right.
And so I'm thinking, man, that pocket collapsed so hard on Mahomes. I mean, he hurt his toe, and yeah, he still played, but it's like, man, during the draft they drafted a huge offensive lineman, and they picked up a couple of really good free agents, well-known offensive linemen. I think Mahomes might actually have a better year.
Okay. Sounds like it.
Yeah, well, it'll be better than where I'm sitting at.
There are people blocking for him.
Yeah, well, meanwhile, us people in Denver are waiting for Rodgers.
Right.
Because our quarterback situation was embarrassing last season. I mean, it was bad.
Wow.
It was horrible. I never felt so embarrassed to be rooting for a team. I'm like, this is embarrassing. Can we just fix this? Where's Peyton Manning? Bring him back. Now I'm sitting here like, oh yeah, Deshaun Watson, and those allegations, started. I'm like, okay, I don't want him. Next quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. I'm like, yes, orange and blue.
Right.
Let's go. Time to go back to playoffs. Let's go. That's what I want. But I was kind of watching the Chargers, and they're Justin Herbert quarterback. I'm very high on him for this year. I think he's gonna be fire. He was very promising last season. I can't wait to see what he does. My dad's like, watch him playing that bowl game with the Oregon. He was an Oregon Duck. My dad's like, oh, he won't be any good in the NFL, this and that. Now he's eating his words. I'm like,
eating his words, sure.
Yeah. He's like, oh, shut up. Like, my theory is that too. I mean, it's just what it is. Music, sports. That's just what it is. That's what makes who I am, I guess.
Right.
But it's fun. But he's having too much fun over there. I don't know what he's doing. What JJ's doing. But anyway, I just want to say this has been an awesome time, and I really got to know you more too along the way. And this will be actually very fun to edit. I think.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot of work, but it's okay. Why isn't a lot of work? I love editing.
Right.
You can craft it. You can make it into your own storyline by telling you what to do.
Right.
So, but yeah.
I know it's been fun.
It is, but I really appreciate you taking the time, and I'm real glad you're.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you inviting me on too.
Yeah, well, no problem. I thought you'd be a great guest. And I know we talked about your show and got to talk about other things. It's a great conversation. That's what my show would be about. Not just about music, sure, but it could just be about animals. It could be about sports. It could be about
something different all the time. A variety show.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly. I'm trying to take away the negativity and put positivity into the show.
No, that's good. Yeah,
keep things focused. It's like
yeah.
It's just it's what the world needs right now. I think it's just positivity and be focused on that positivity more than anything else.
Right.
From what I've seen, that's what I like to see, but that'll take time, I guess.
Okay, yeah. So anyway, I really enjoyed the show tonight. I hope people watching it enjoyed it. So Royce Eddings, I've got the YouTube show and my YouTube channel, Royce in the House, and the playlist is Vinyl Album Unboxing. And every Saturday night at 7 p.m. we unbox 3 to 5 albums of one group. We talk about the vinyl, we talk about the albums, the artists, the songs, and just tell stories about the albums and the artists. So anyway, thanks. Fun hanging out with everybody. Bye.